All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. Look, I am doing fantastic. You know what? I know it's a Wednesday. It is Wednesday today. It's Friday. It's call it what you want, but my brain is convinced it's Friday. But that is, take it off. We're
Yeah.
finally getting this show on the road. So no matter what you say, it feels like a Friday to me.
Awesome, man.
So,
Awesome, man. Now the feeling very,
but
very well. All right,
yes.
excellent. Friends, quick look at our gappers list, see what's going on here this morning. And again, just a lot going on today. Oh, where's my gappers list? I thought I had it. Maybe not. Gonna search it here. Where did I put this? Don't stop the music. Keep it going. There we go. Okay. There it is. Perfect. Here's our gappers list. Let me adjust this
Play
a little
that
bit.
funky music.
There you go. All right, friends. Our gappers list this morning a little bit leaning towards the downside of things. And again, hopefully that can create some volatility that we can take advantage of. A lot of data coming out today on the markets. You can see the SPY. Let's go right to that. SPY reacting already. So again, just a lot happening today. But let's go right to what's happening right now, Peter. U.S. economic calendar.
We have a ton. It's a busy day. There's a ton of stuff on the economic calendar. So much stuff I couldn't even fit it all. But let's try and give you the rundown. Let's start with what just happened. The market is reacting very not good economic data. Let's put it that way. So let's start with the easy one, the employment cost index. So this is the cost of employees to employers. That hasn't changed. Well, that means wages have not changed. So that there you go. 0.9% increase was expectation. 0.9% increase is what came out. That's a quarter over quarter number. Now let's get to the negative stuff. The employment numbers, ADP employment, which shows the increase in employment. This is month over month. Was expected to grow by about 114,000. It only grew by 62,000 jobs, which is significantly lower than expected. That's half the number of jobs that were expected. And that $114,000 number, by the way, was already the lowest that had been projected in over 5 years. Even during the pandemic, the growth numbers were higher than that in terms of number of jobs being added. So that's the by far the lowest number of jobs that have been added since 4 years, since January 2021. That was the last time it was this low. So there you go. So there's that number. Now add on top of that the GDP number. This is the growth anticipated in the U.S.'s economic output. The growth. Oh my goodness, I can't even speak. Gross domestic product. That was expected to be up by about 0.2%. Unfortunately, it contracted quarter over quarter by 0.3%. So that means that the U.S. economy, based on the last measurement, is actually shrinking. So that is another reason why we're seeing the markets not so happy in the last couple of minutes with those numbers coming out. We do have a bunch of other data that's coming out later today, though. We're not done yet. There is also PCE prices that are coming out, consumer spending that's coming out, the Chicago Business Barometer is coming out. There's just a ton of stuff. So bottom line is, if you're trading pre-market, well, we already got the data that's the market is reacting to. The next data point should be at 9:45, then 10 a.m. Those are the big time frames for today. After 10 a.m. should be relatively, easy. Now, we've had good market movement on our stocks, right? We were talking about this yesterday in our close, how, there's this pattern that we've been seeing, how things have been sort of, they do this little right at the open. It looks like they're going to be positive, and then they drop. And then they move up midday, and then they drop into the close. And then right before the close, they say, maybe we're going to go up again. Anyways, so there's an interesting pattern that we've just been seeing day over day. So we'll have to see if that continues today. It's we can only hope so. So there's a lot of market activity happening out there. We got a lot of earnings that are happening. Of course, we've got the first 100 days of a presidency, which a lot of people sort of put some. They do economic forecasting and reporting and report cards. Let's face it, 100 days is not. There's nothing scientific about 100 days really, other than it's just historic that people say, all right, after 100 days, how is the new presidency going? So, you can review your own data on how, what the reviews are on that. But it's just interesting to me that we've got all of this backdrop, which, can lead to good volatility. So I'm just hoping for good trading no matter what. I do hope the markets sort of recover from this, but the early going here this morning, we are seeing a fair amount of downturn with the markets down about 1 to 1.4%. And by the way, if I look around the world, we don't always do this, but if I look at around the world, almost everything is in the red. The European markets are down. The Japanese markets are down. It's we're sort of seeing some red across the world. Canadian markets also down. So, all right, hate to be doomsayer, but hey, that's the reality. It's just one of those down days. Heck, even the shingles off my neighbor's roof are down. So
yeah, there you go.
We had a big storm last night, and it was something else, man. It was a lot of wind. Anyways, and the house was shaken. So I've got a neighbor who's already in France who we're actually meeting up with when we're there. So I went over to check on their house. They actually had some shingles off the roof that were lying in their backyard. That sucks, man. So I had to send them a message. Don't kill the messenger, but sorry about this. Your roof has a hole in it.
It sucks. All right, let's take a look here as the market continues to slide. Our gappers list, some stuff in the green. Look at this one, 133% up this morning. So let's take a look what's going on there. We'll go through all of this. NVO still in the green, giving some positive news of their alignment yesterday with some other telemed companies that are going to be helping them, telehealth, going to be helping them get their drugs into more hands. And also, again, just the gap down list is going to be massive. For out of this, we're just going to pick our favorites. I mean, they're all going to come up here. Later today, we do have some interesting ones. We have Meta and Microsoft reporting today. So that should also be interesting. All right, let's dive in, friends. Let's take a look at the first one. RGLS is a 53 million shares float. And as I see it here, it looks just brutal. I mean, I don't see anything great. Daily looks bad. Pre-market, it looks just garbage. I mean, there's really nothing to see here, Peter.
No, this is a biotech. We're not so fond of the biotech. So unless you like the short, the low float stuff. In this case, this is an acquisition. So it's not going to trade well. Basically, they're going to be acquired by Novartis for $7 a share. So, yeah, it's never mind. Moving on, right? Acquisitions are not usually good.
Yep, 100%. All right, let's take a look at the next one. It's going to be STSS. STSS this morning, we are up 22%. Another garbage truck, up 22% right now. 6.8 million shares traded, but just look at this nasty daily. I mean, again, nothing to see here, Peter. Not sure if any news. We'll roll the truck on this crap.
Yeah.
Anything on it?
Yeah, look, I mean, what is this? This has got to be a tiny company. Yeah, I'm seeing a float of, I don't actually know how big the float is. This has got a market cap of $270 million, this company. It's got to have a minuscule float. How this made our list, I don't know. It must be just because it's got massive volume. 6.8 million shares traded. That's got to be the float many, many times over. Look, they got a big contract for them. We're talking about a $400,000 contract. We shouldn't even be talking about this. But look, that's great. Yeah. They got a $400,000 contract that led to 6.5 million shares being traded. Yeah, I am not touching this thing.
Yeah, absolutely not. Norm, our good buddy Norm, man, glad to see you in chat with that number 6 on it. Love that, and that star. But Norm is sharing some stuff. Norm, this is you asking, I'm asking Norm what's going on. He says that I'm looking at the high flow of that stock, right? He used to be the low flow king for a period there. But that was some funny stuff there. So man, good to have you in chat as always. And Norm, please
Now,
tell people that I've been in contact with you, that you've been fine. Because on YouTube, where's Norm? Where's Norm? Where's Norm? I'm like, guys, Norm is fine.
yeah.
I talk to him on a regular basis. He's okay. He's enjoying life, doing his thing. Can you tell him I was not lying? That'd be great, man. But no, lots of love for you, brother.
Um,
Go ahead, Peter.
just on sharps, because somebody was mentioning it, that they did have a reverse stock split. We have to keep in mind this company, and that's a good point, right? So on Monday they had a reverse stock split that came into effect. 1 for 300. 1 for 300. So this is a $6 stock. Really, you want to know the price of this company? Divide that price by 600. That's
Yeah.
the actual price. So, yeah. Anyway,
Just nasty.
moving on. We've talked too much about
Yeah,
it.
this is why the daily see go up to like 5,000. It probably had a couple of this is just all right. We wasted way too much time on this one. It's just garbage. Let's go to NVO. So NVO still seeing some of the pops here from yesterday's action. Again, these guys getting together with HIMS, and what's the other one? Was HIMS? It was a Life Med, I believe. The other one, again, just to kind of be able to get their drug out there a little bit more, their weight loss drug. Not really great trader. Even yesterday, we were looking at the intraday action. It sucked. I mean, they have great news, but the intraday action was not great. I'll show you. Don't take my word for it. Take the chart's word. Here it is. Here's the open. This is just bad. Now, in fairness to NVO, there were a lot of things at the market open that were pretty brutal. So the opening ranges were not easy yesterday. Eventually, they get better later in the day, like a PLTR, even Tesla and so forth. But it was a very rough start. But they did not trade very well. So I won't have them on my list again today. I had them yesterday, Peter. They're not going back on the list. What is your thoughts?
I fully agree. I tried to watch them yesterday, and like you said, yeah, they sucked. So just from a trading perspective, not a judgment on the company. Just if you wanted to find a good trade on it, it just wasn't to be had, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving on.
Yeah. Moving on. All right, that covers our gap up, my friends. Over here, we're seeing the list, just 3 of them. Everything else is sitting on the downside, so huge gap down list. It keeps growing, given the data that has come out here. Again, not positive, and the market is feeling it's like everything is on this list this morning. So it's going to be one of those days, Peter, where we just have to pick our favorites. I mean, we're not going to be able to go through this list, but I do want to look at, actually, before I do that, Peter, do you have anything on the gap up that you want to go over?
Yeah, and less than I would have thought I'd have, because there's a number of companies that reported, and some reported very good quarterly earnings, and are still gapping down. So I guess we'll talk about those on the gap down. But what is gapping up? Well, since you mentioned Norm in the room, I can't talk about Etsy without thinking about Norm. Only because Norm used to make fun of it all the time. So it's indelibly tied to him, whether he wants it or not. So anyways, Etsy reported this morning, and they missed their numbers, but are gapping up. I don't know. Norm must be selling his beaded jewelry there, because I don't know any other reason why it would be gapping up. But anyways, it's not a great trader, but it's just fun because it used to be on our list. A couple of members were talking about Garmin. Garmin reported, GRMN is the ticker, not a big volume trading stock. They missed their numbers, but are gapping up. No, they're actually gapping down. Never mind. That's the wrong list. Sorry about that. But anyways, they're gapping down. Not a great trading stock. Sorry, Caterpillar was another one that had earnings that I did want to talk about. Caterpillar is an interesting one because a lot of people look to it, including myself, just to see what's happening. I mean, heavy equipment, right? Big earth-moving type equipment. Very international business. Wanted to see the effect of tariffs on it, what it would be. In this quarter, not a great quarter. They missed both on revenue and earnings. Not by a lot, but they did miss their number. And they sort of called off their guidance. I mean, sort of, because they basically gave a couple of guidance numbers. They say, look, if tariffs don't come into effect as planned, we could probably meet our guidance. We're good. If they do come into effect, then there's going to be an impact probably of about $1.5 billion. They said we've already sucked up or absorbed about $250 million worth of economic impact, and think we can, sort of cover about that much again without having to come off our guidance. But it really depends on what happens with the tariffs. So they sort of held their guidance, but they're being cautious, saying, yeah, there could be some impact. We'll wait and see. So, look, very similar to what we've heard from a lot of companies right now. So, and I'm surprised to see Caterpillar gapping up as a result of that. Now, very low volume, 143,000, which is why it didn't make our list, but it can sometimes trade well once the market opens. If nothing else, I really want to see sort of what happens with it over the course of the day. Probably not my go-to for trading, but one I'll be keeping an eye on. The other one, the last one that's gapping up for this morning, Western Digital, WDC. Western Digital, one of the semiconductor type stocks, I guess. They do a lot of stuff. I know them for making hard drives and stuff, right? They make lots of equipment, but they're a pseudo semiconductor, I guess. High tech services and product company. Anyways, they actually beat their numbers, had a good quarter. So they are gapping up this morning. None of the semiconductor sector is gapping up, by the way. The whole semiconductor sector is all down and pretty heavy. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes here. But Western Digital is actually up by about 8%. Quite a good boost for it this morning. So that's what I've got on the gap up, Carlos.
All right. There we go. Let's take a look what's gapping down. Again, as I mentioned, a bunch of stuff on here. Let's look at the top four or so, because I know within that we have SMCI, which had earnings. We had Starbucks, which had earnings as well. So let's look at those. Starbucks, which I love because they trade very well doing earnings.
They
man.
yes.
I have had a lot of luck with them. So hopefully today is no different. But we will see. SMCI, you know what? On Bloomberg, they call this guy Super Micro. And I was like, why? Didn't they remove their micro? Or was that somebody else? Was that
No.
Who was it? Wasn't this guys? Did they remove
No,
it?
it wasn't this. No.
Oh, I was saying, oh, they messed up. But okay,
No.
so they still micro on these guys.
Yeah, it's MSTR. It was MSTR that was MicroStrategy that just wanted to be called Strategy.
Oh, okay. All right, so I'm waiting to see when they announce that one, see if they get it right. SMCI, guys, down 20% right now, 7.2 million shares traded. I mean, this can trade very well. Today's their day. They're going to be on here. Again, did not do well this morning, Peter, obviously feeling some of the weakness here, as you can see.
Well, so yeah, and that leads to the semiconductor sector that we want to talk about. So Supermicro, they provided some guidance for their next quarter. And remember when their CEO come out, because I was talking about this, and said that they were going to grow their revenue significantly. They were going to go from 30 to 40 billion dollars in the year, and was putting some very aggressive estimates out there. They've had to backtrack, and they've actually lowered their guidance as they sort of pulled back their third quarter guidance. And said, yeah, look, maybe not quite. So that is what is primarily causing it. And look, they're not alone. Like, well, that's got them gapping down significantly. Like, they're down 19% this morning. That is a big hit on Supermicro. But the rest of the semiconductor industry is down about 4% overall. So some of that is just industry weakness with the bad economic data we talked about. I mean, look at the market since we started talking. The markets are down 4 points here. So yeah, it's so far it's a very red morning. But yeah, Supermicro down a lot more than the rest of the industry. So definitely in play today. Could be very interesting. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm going to have these guys on deck. Will be the first one on my list. Again, they trade very well, and I think today will be one of those days where we'll see some good action on it as the SPY continues to slide really nice over here. So SMCI, adding that one to the list. All right, next on here is Snap. Snap normally doesn't trade very well. They're down today. Did they have earnings or something? Yeah,
they did.
Looks like they did last night. What's the latest?
They did. Well, they started using one of the words that people like to use a lot now on earnings, headwinds. So I was waiting for them to use it. There's some headwinds. Everybody seems to be leaning into this wind. So they had earnings. Look, they actually beat on their revenue, but they missed on their earnings and missed fairly significantly. Now, they were expected to deliver about a 4-cent profit per share. They actually lost 8 cents per share. So that's like a 300% reversal or change, depending how you want to count it. But anyways, they lost money when they were supposed to gain money, and they removed their guidance, saying that there are these significant headwinds into their last quarter and their further, forward-looking quarters that are going to impact their ability to deliver their numbers. So, it was one of those words that I just kept seeing in various articles about earnings. These headwinds. Well, we know what the headwinds are. Snapchat is citing them, and they're down. Another one that's down pretty significantly, right? 15.6% right now. So not one of the best traders, like you mentioned, Carlos. We used to watch this because it actually used to be a lot of fun. There was opportunity in it. I haven't seen that same opportunity in the last couple of years. Today might be its day with that bad news. There might be some opportunity, especially, if I look at it where it is on the daily, there's some interesting range that it could move both to the downside and upside, but we'll see where it goes. Like, it's just sitting in no man's land right here, right, with this big gap down this morning, but we know it could head down to that $7 mark because it was just there at the beginning of the month. And below that, below that below that is just ugliness, because I think that's an all-time low that it set in early April. So anyways, Snapchat just feels interesting enough that I'm probably going to just put it on my secondary list to keep an eye on it this morning.
Yeah. Could be interesting. I'm glad you're keeping an eye on it. I'm not going to do the same, but I know that if you see something, you'll say something. Let's take a look at APP, App Lovin'. APP this morning. Here it is. Down quite a bit. Normally doesn't get great volume, only 541,000, but it is down 16%. So people are not loving the stock a whole lot here. Is this earnings, or is this just overall market, Peter, on App Lovin'?
No, this is just the overall market. There was some movement of being added into some different funds. I'm not sure, but that should be a good thing, not a bad thing. So I don't really know why it's. Oh, they reduced their estimates. I see. Okay. They said increased competition from the gaming sector as well as from Meta and Google, and they don't see no sign of improvement over the next couple of quarters, and therefore they're reducing their guidance. So there you go. That's why they're gapping down so hard.
Gotcha. All right, let's take a look here. I'm going to look at the next one on the gappers list, guys. Again, just keep scrolling and shuffling around a little bit. Starbucks, yes, we do want to talk about Starbucks.
Yeah.
I like this one. It does trade very well. Earnings as well. At the moment down 10%, 1.4 million shares traded. What's the latest? People are not buying coffee at Starbucks. No, I got Norm in my head because he's in chat. Peter.
Yeah, well, you know what? Hey, I'll consider that a compliment if you want to call me Norm. So, look, they did miss their numbers. They didn't have a great quarter. It looks like coffee sales are down. There you go. Norm not being vegan.
Exactly.
Yeah, they had earnings. They missed their numbers, both top and bottom line, so it wasn't a great quarter. And some interesting comments out of the CEO that was moving it, because their same store sales were down. This is, let me just read this quote from their CEO that said, over the last couple of years, we've been removing labor from the stores with the hope that equipment would offset the removal of labor. Basically saying they were going to automation, right? Maybe some more robots and automation would save problems. They said, he continued to say, what we're finding out is that wasn't an accurate assumption with what played out. As a result, so what they've said then is they're actually going to be adding staff into stores and trying to improve their customer experience by bringing staff back. I think this is actually a smart play by Starbucks. It's a good time to announce that you're planning to hire and add staff back into the stores. It's the type of thing that the market sort of wants to hear, whereas other times adding staff would have seen as a negative, right? Because that adds costs. This is sort of a good political move for them. Probably as well as maybe a good service outcome. That being said, right, is there still going to be as strong a market for the $10 coffees we were talking about yesterday, or $7 or $8 coffees, depending where you are? But I don't know. Like, again, I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't get it. Like, I walk into a Starbucks and I just look at the price list and I'm going, you people are all crazy. and I don't understand it. But anyways, uh, but they've got a big business. So
Yeah.
Starbucks can move on earnings though. So look, if you guys get trading opportunity on today on it, by all means. Starbucks is it's not as unfriendly to me as some other stocks like Walmart and I don't get along.
Mm.
Starbucks I've generally avoided because I don't understand the stock. It confuses me somehow in its price action, but it can definitely be in play on a day like today.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the apple of coffee, man. You know, it's overpriced. Now,
Apple coffee.
I got to tell you this. You go to any Starbucks, and this is what I like about them. What the exact same drink you have here that you have over there is tastes exactly the same. You try to do that with Dunkin' Donuts, any other franchise here, it's not gonna happen. It depends who's running the machine. Like they have that down to a T, right? As far as you can have it in Canada, I had it in Vancouver, I had it in New York, I had it in Jersey, tastes the same. So they got a good system going there. Can't say that for a lot of the franchises. But yeah, overpriced coffee. They do trade well. They'll be on my list this morning. Starbucks on here today. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. All right. We're going to hop around a little bit here because there's just so much on here. I want to get to some good stuff. Obviously, the Teslas, the Nvidias, the American Airlines, the Quantum. I mean, it's all on here. Amazon, you name it. There's
Yeah.
some really big names on here. So let's look at some of our favorites. We're going to start the list with Amazon. And I'm sorry, Tesla. We'll start with Tesla here. Tesla, obviously, a stock that loves to follow the overall market. We are going to be watching this one. They get great volume. Down 3.7, 4.6 million shares traded. Peter, I don't think there's anything happening individually with Tesla, but it's one that I like to keep on deck on days like this one. What is your thoughts?
Yeah, Tesla's been in play forever, and it continues to be in play. I like the way it moves. I like the way it trades. I think it's a good trading stock. That being said, look, the talk is back onto tariffs. We had sort of eased on the tariff talk a little while. I think it got inflamed again with some of the comments out of the White House, with Trump saying he's made 200 deals, and of course, a lot of people are trying to determine where those deals were and with whom he's made these deals. And we've heard comments from Chinese and others about they're saying, well, not us. So Tesla is being fairly quiet on it. That being said, there's some unofficial statements being made by some of the Tesla executives saying that the tariff impact is going to hit them significantly. I think they're doing this purposefully. That they're sort of not publicly saying anything and not formally saying anything, but they are informally sort of let know that there's definitely going to be some impact on their business. Look, right now, I think Tesla specifically, it's really just moving down with the market. It's down by about 3.8% this morning. And with how much the market, like what are the market indices down? I mean, we're down about 2% overall, and you normally expect Tesla to move a little more aggressively than the general market. So I don't see anything specific. There's no like big bad news points, really. I mean, it's sort of more of the same, right? Excuse me. Tesla can struggle in China. We know the things have actually quieted it, I think, a little bit. Carlos, maybe you can tell me locally there, but I haven't heard the same type of demonstrations and stuff happening in the US. I think since Elon stepped back from the limelight and all the work he was doing at Doge, that has sort of died down. So that's probably a good thing for Tesla stock. But
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
it's in play. Anyways, the stock is in play. I'm absolutely watching it because I watch it every day.
When the product is good, whether you might not like electric vehicles, but this is a good product. So once he steps away from that and that comes down, this is gonna shoot back up, man. I'm telling you, especially with these
Yeah,
self-driving robo taxis, that's a big deal. So yeah, it's gonna come down in 6, 7 months. People are gonna forget, and they're gonna be back up again.
And that's
It's
a
just
good point, Carlos. I mean, one of the things that we have to remember is that they've still got a very active business. They've got new products, right, with the cyber taxis, their remote driving vehicles. They've got their robots out there, which I still find creepy. But anyways, so like they've got all that stuff that's still happening, and they do have definitely a unique market position in North America now. Their cars are still considered sort of on the leading edge. That being said, the Chinese brands are really challenging them on the technology. So, but of course, those are not available in North America. So they've got a stranglehold on the North American market for the time being. They seem to be a little more challenged in the European and, of course, Asian markets. But yeah, like Tesla, it's still a very vibrant and active business out there. We can't forget it, despite the challenges that they've had. So let's see where it
Yep.
goes. I mean, if we look at the price, like look, it was at a low a year ago. This thing was sitting at $150, and we're sitting at 279 right now. So let's keep that in perspective and understand that there's still lots of movement possibilities on this in both directions.
Yep, 100%. All right, let's take a look, friends. So Tesla on my list as well. The other one we want to look at is Nvidia. It's another one that we'd like to look at when the days are like this. I mean, you can see the drop continuing here. So Nvidia will be on deck as well. 3.7, 8.2 million shares traded. Again, just another one that just tends to follow the overall market. So I'll have Tesla and Nvidia on deck, and I'm gonna stop here. What I'll do, Peter, is there's so many POTR. I mean, we can go on and on. What do you like this morning as far as this gappers list?
Like, with all seriousness, this is one of the days where you could pretty much pick any one of your favorite stocks and they are in play. The volume is happening out there. Everything I'm looking at, it's got a ton of volume and a ton of movement. You may not like the direction of the movement, but it's moving. So semiconductor stocks are in play. The entire Magnificent Seven lineup, right? Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, Netflix, our favorite PLTR, like just they're all in play. So, pick whichever one you want. Couple of earnings I want you to know about that you might want to consider for your list. We already talked about Starbucks. Visa is a surprising one that's gapping down. V is their ticker symbol. And they had a great quarter. They beat their numbers, and they always beat their numbers. Visa, as we were sort of joking, semi-joking about it with Jared at the close yesterday, because we were watching the earnings after hours. Like, Visa is going to be here for as long as humans are buying things on this planet. Like, they've got a business that has been profitable and will continue to be profitable for at least the foreseeable future. Interestingly, they did announce a $30 billion share buyback. I always love the big share buybacks because you can look at it two ways, right? One is that they're basically saying, hey, we think our stock is undervalued, therefore we think it's a good time to buy the shares back because we're getting good value out of that. And they're sending us a message of support to the market, right? We're willing to buy our own shares because we've got excess cash and this is what we want to do with it. The other side of that just amuses me that you can look at it is they're basically saying, we took a look around the market and you all suck. You all are horrible, and there's nothing better to buy than me. So I'm buying my own brand, baby, because I'm the best thing to buy out there. I've got $30 billion to burn, and there's nothing I want to buy more than my own company. So I'm buying back in. So that's the side of it that amuses me, just because when you get these big share buybacks, they basically said there's nothing else I'd rather buy, right? There's no acquisitions that I think are good, no other small companies. I'm putting it back in my own pocket. So y'all suck. Yeah, that's basically Visa's message today. So, look, I thought they'd be gapping up. They had a good quarter, some relatively good news, but yeah, they seem to have dropped pre-market. Not a great trading stock, but anyways, fun. Okay, others just very quickly on the earnings that you need to know about. First Solar had earnings. Bad quarter. FSLR is the ticker there. Not a surprise. They missed their numbers. Solar stocks have not done well, right? They are impacted triply, I guess, by the current administration. First off, the administration is not in favor of solar power. They prefer other forms of energy generation. They've made that very clear, so that's not good. Second, the tariff impact has certainly hit them. And of course, third, with the economy slowing down slightly, we're seeing that impact in lowered orders. They called off their guidance. Well, they sort of lowered significantly their full year guidance and said there's a lot of uncertainty. They also used the headwinds term. So FSLR gapping down this morning because of earnings. The other one that I was going to mention, we already talked about Etsy. I mentioned that earlier, that missed their numbers on the quarter, and Garmin. Yeah, that's about it. A ton of other earnings, by the way, but guys, there's so much good stuff. We don't need to dip into sort of the secondary and tertiary pools here. I think if you stick to the mainline stuff, right now. I mean, look at this market. If I'm looking at the Qs right now, and yikes, since we started at 8:30, I hope it wasn't us, Carlos, but because the market was actually looking like it was maybe doing a turnaround, and then 8:30 came, and look at that, it just dropped and it's still going down. So it wasn't us; it was the economic data. But yeah,
absolutely,
it's looking a lot redder now than it was just 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting open, that's for sure. It's gonna be an interesting day. We have more data coming out later today, right? You mentioned, for those that have not joined us yet, just missed it, we got some more stuff happening later, 9:45, 10. We'll be on for that. We'll see how that is gonna affect things. Some stuff has not affected the markets much. Obviously, this morning was big, Peter, but some stuff like yesterday, nothing happened, for the most part.
Yeah. And I see in the room there's talk about all sorts of different things. Like, for instance, I have no idea how to trade this on the North American market. We talked about First Solar. There was a massive power outage that took down the entire grid of both Spain and Portugal, and millions of users without power. I mean, huge impact. I think everybody's okay. As far as I, heard, anyways, no critical infrastructure was compromised. I don't think there was any, like, you always worry about hospitals and things like that when power gets taken down. That's a big issue. Does that have a North American market impact? I don't think so. There's no, there's nothing for us to trade on that, but interesting global news, I guess, to be aware of. So I see Tommaso is saying that they're in Spain, and he said all good in the end. So that's good to hear. Hopefully everybody's okay in Spain. So it's not like you're in the middle of winter somewhere where you're going to freeze to death. So I think you're good.
Yeah, good. Hopefully everybody's well if you're affected by it. Okay, let's dive in, guys. What do you guys like this morning? I'm taking a look at our chats. Both chats very, very active. People love red days. People love to come and see the disaster. We have a higher view count on YouTube. Everybody loves to come in and watch the train wreck, and look at that. So we need more red days for our viewership. Over on YouTube, we just want to remind you that we're not responsible for the way your 401k might look right now. So please hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. We're not responsible for it. So still like our show anyway if your 401k is dropping. Yeah, it's not our fault. But yeah, let's take a look at some stuff here. Meta. Let's look at Meta. Meta and Microsoft both reporting later today. Again, right now they're just moving with the overall market. So we just don't know how the individual reports is going to be later this afternoon. We'll be live for that. Today's Wednesday, right? We'll be live for that on YouTube. So join us then. We'll start at 3:30, go all the way to about 4:30. But again, just moving with the overall market. I don't see anything special on it. So if you like that one, put that one on the list. Same thing with Microsoft. It has a little bit less volume than your Nvidia and your Tesla, and even your Meta today. Meta has less volume. Meta looks better pre-market, but less volume. So pick them if you like. I'm not going to have them on my list. I think there's better stuff that we have that moves nicer. I know people are commenting laptop and a giveaway. It is Wednesday, but I don't know. Andrew's in China. I'm not sure if he can run his
He was here.
program.
I saw him in the room. I saw him in the room
He was?
earlier.
Okay.
He did say
good.
hi. Yeah.
Oh, there he is. He's
maybe
on. Yep. Andrew's. Yeah.
So
Andrew's
Andrew, what do you
connecting
think? Is it laptop
half across
day?
the world.
Are we able to do that from China, or do we need to push it?
He could actually just buy one from China without
He says yes.
having tariffs.
He says yes. Okay, guys.
He could skip the tariffs.
If you're on YouTube, you guys know what to do. You got to say hello to Carlos. Then you can ask for the laptop. Remember that.
Yeah, don't be
nice, or Carlos is going to get angry.
Don't just type laptop.
Give us a thumbs up. Yeah. Then add some commentary. You got to comment. That's how you get added to the draw. So let's make it happen. Andrew's
friends.
Feeling it. He's got his internet connection. So let's go, baby.
All right, awesome, guys. All right, let's go back to you guys. What else, you guys? So we looked at Meta, we looked at Microsoft, Nvidia. You got some Chip M, and you have some ETFs on there. Yeah, NVD's one, and you got some other ones like NVDL, another one. So you got a couple of ETFs, leverage stuff you can use if you'd like to trade Nvidia at a lower price. Just again, be careful with. It's all about risk management. Just manage your risk accordingly when you're trading those ETFs. Nvidia I have on deck. That's good. What else do we have here? SMCI I do have. SMCI going to zero. Is it dropping that bad?
It's
Oh
not
yeah, highway,
quite that
highway.
bad, but it's
Yeah,
down over 20% now. It is
yeah.
definitely hurting this morning.
It is highway to hell. There's no question. Leave some fun for us, man. Wait for us to
The
get on here so we can enjoy it a
Yeah,
little bit.
SMCI, if you look at it on the daily, again, it's at a very critical inflection point over the next couple of dollars here, right? $26. That was sort of the low it set this year back in February. Below that, I mean, it was as low as what, $17, I think, in November. So yeah, there's still lots of downside.
Yeah. Uh, I love the comment here. Fazian is saying, Carlos, you look astonishing today, laptop. Yeah, that's not gonna. The algos are not gonna pick that up and help you, man. You're not gonna get better votes and a better
Carlos,
chance.
man,
But I
play
appreciate
the
it.
game. Yes. No, look,
Yeah.
guys.
Uh,
No, the
uh,
stronger the compliment for Carlos, the better your chances at winning a laptop. So, tell me he's
oh my
pretty,
goodness.
and you got a better chance.
This is gonna get very interesting. Um, all right, friends.
The more
So right
creative
now,
the more creative the compliment, the better too. It increases your chance. So I
yeah,
want to see them. What do you
the
got?
giveaway is gonna read that. Um, all right, so right now, friends, for me, I have SMCI, Starbucks, Tesla, Nvidia, and as I have Tesla and Nvidia, I am thinking of every possible Magnificent Seven, like the Meta, like the Microsoft, that there is. And again, if you look at this gappers list, it is massive and continues to grow. And there's some interesting one here, but I want to touch on a few before we get to announcements. Peter, POTR, our good buddy POTR, which again continues to trade so explosive. Look at this drop here.
So
Uh,
yeah,
what do you
and
think? I'm gonna
Carlos,
have it
this
on
would
my
be a
list.
good. Yeah, look, this would be a good opportunity to remind you of your own comment from yesterday. What did you say as you were trying to trade other things? All right, why am I doing this? I should just be trading PLTR every day.
I did say that. You're
You
right.
did. So
Yeah,
you did. So I just want to remind you of that. Don't take your eye off it. Like,
I will
I'm not
not.
saying that
Front and center.
you need to, yeah, not saying you need to jump in. Like, obviously, you got to trade smart, but we know it's a great mover. It has been
It
very
is.
consistent. So I don't know if it's going to give opportunities today or not, but I think, yeah, at least for you, Carlos, got to be on your list because you don't want to be in that situation like you found yourself in yesterday, where you got distracted and you look at it
Yeah,
later and
yeah.
you're like, damn it, right? Moved again without me. So
It was just such a beautiful move. Heavily in play today, guys. Again, this thing can move. $5 drops from the pre-market highs here, almost, right? Almost $6. So again, it can move very well. Love it today. Will be on the list. The comments are on YouTube are hilarious, guys. You guys are great, and this is what is, again, being part of a community, man. It's just awesome. There's a lot of fun, and we do this all day in bearwithtraders.com. So if you join our chat room, if you want to continue past 12, we want to see Andrew trading, Brian trading. Andrew's trading live today. I see his list already, and just it goes on all day, right? So join us there. You can join for a week. A trial is $19, gets you in for a week, gets you a couple of classes, so you can fill out the environment, see if you like it, and see if it's for you, right? Not every community is the same, but give it a try. Ask questions to the people in the chat room. Don't be shy. Let them know, hey, what do you think about this, blah blah. And it's awesome. It really is being a great part of a community like this one. So give it a shot. Obviously, I'm biased, but come try it for yourself for $19. It's less than what's the venti? I forgot the damn sizes with Starbucks. Can we just figure this out? Small, large, medium. It's not that difficult. Venti. What's the other one? Grande. Get it together, man. This is
yeah,
this
Venti
is
is
this
the
is why your
big
stock
one,
is
right?
down. Yeah, this is why your
Grande
stock
is
is down.
smaller than Venti. I don't know.
I have no idea, Peter. Don't ask me because it's so confusing. I go in, let me get the large one, please. Venti? I'm like, yeah, let me get that. Like, come on. All right,
It's
that's my
20.
rant for the week.
It's Italian for 20, so I guess it's 20 ounces. I think is what I
I
remember
don't.
hearing.
I'm bad
There
at
was a movie
math.
clip on it.
Come on. I'm bad at math. I
You
grew
don't,
up broke,
you don't
ordered
want to do
McDonald's,
Italian math?
large and medium, and supersized. Like, come on, make it simple.
And supersize. That's such
Yeah.
an American thing.
Oh, this
Supersize
is
me, baby.
supersize me, baby. Fries and all. All right, guys. Let's see what's happening for this beautiful Wednesday laptop day. Hit that thumbs up, comment, and chat. Peter, what's happening for today?
All right, it's Wednesday, which is Psychology Day, and wow, it's a good day to remember your psychology, guys. Let's not get overexcited. It's a down day so far. Again, pre-market. I want to caution everybody. The markets are down pretty significantly. The economic data that came out is driving this market down. However, I want to wait and see what the big money's doing. They may continue to push this down because the economic data wasn't that great, but let's make sure that we're focusing on our psychology, we're staying calm, and you're attacking your strategies smartly. How can we help you do that? Well, in a number of ways, because we've got a number of different webinars that'll help you with that. Today, during the day, you can join Avi for his live trading session that he's got happening at 11. We've got our one of our favorite people, Dr. Vanessa Charlin, who's coming at noon. She's both of those are, by the way, in the webinar room for our elite members. She's going to talk about futures trading, and she usually live trades around that time. So she'll be talking about how that works. And then, of course, tonight we've got our signature webinar. Now it's an early time, so I was actually getting. Oh, I should throw these up here. We were getting messages from Mike because he's already in France. You know what? Why can't my thing just won't do it anymore? Carlos, I don't know if you've got the picture you can put. Mike squinting into the sun is at the top of a hill. There in Telegram. But anyways, Mike's doing the webinar tonight. It's at 5 o'clock. It's an early time because he's already got himself in France. He's there getting things warm for me as I head down tonight for this this crazy race that we're doing. So, but he and Brendan are going to tag team to do this trading mindset webinar. It's going to be again at 5 p.m. So mark that in your calendar. It's 1 hour after the market close in the webinar room for all of our elite members. So hopefully you will join the two of them at 5 o'clock tonight. So that's what we've got. Carlos already mentioned if you wanted to join us, there he is. There's Mike. So apparently that's one of the hills we're going to be climbing and the view we get during the course of our marathon that we'll be running on Sunday. So looking forward to it. Can't wait to get there.
Awesome.
And if you want to join us at Bearable Traders, look, we'll always be here. Whether I'm here or not, the rest of the team will absolutely be here. We've got live trading for every minute that the market is open. And, of course, we've got engineering the markets beforehand. We often have earnings afterwards. We're here, baby. And we're here for you. So bearabletraders.com, go check it out. We've got a number of deals from an intro offer right through to the Platinum. The Platinum, by the way, includes our boot camp. That Peak Capital Trading Boot Camp is a fantastic 3-month intensive training course if you really want to accelerate your trading journey. If you're ready to go right now, that course starts Monday. Our next one starts on Monday, so there's still time to join. We still have a couple of spots left. You can pick the last one. If you're not ready, but you still want to lock in that price, join the September one. It's the last one for 2024. September through early December is when that second one or the third one of the year, the last one will be. So either whether you go May to August or you go September to December, join the boot camp. You won't regret it. It's a great experience. So there you go, Carlos. Let's set some levels. We're running close to the open here, and we got to get ourselves moving.
Yep, absolutely, friends. Let's get it done here. We'll do some levels. Let's start on SMCI. Just a main list for me today. I got nothing on the secondary. As we go through, we might add some stuff, but right now, just main stuff for the most part. High of the pre-market on SMCI, again, down 20%. Just keeps dropping, guys. It is 31.11, so we'll slam a level there towards the bottom. 28.63 is the low of the pre-market. And you can see here, that is where we found support recently here, right around that area. And a little bit here, we're slightly below that for the most part now. But we did find support around this area the last time we've been here. So let's see if we can hold here. And actually, a couple of times, SMCI just loves this area. The time that we did break down from that, we went all the way down to 25.79, the most recent one, and between here we do have a level at around 27.69. Also a couple of days bouncing off of that as well. You definitely want to have that on deck. Towards the top, all the way up there, you do have the highs and lows for the last two trading days, but we got a couple of days in here that might be worth putting down. 32.45 is a good one, and right over here also 34.16, and then above that we start slamming into our highs and lows previous day close from the last two trading days. Let's take a look at Starbucks. Again, this stock does trade very well, so I'm happy to have it on deck this morning. After earnings, we had some good success on it. Let's see if that continues. 75.98 is the low of the pre-market on this one. Prior support there as well back in April 7th. High of the pre-market, we're looking at 79.45, so we'll slam one up there as well. Above that, slight area, slight support at 81.68. We see support and resistance, and then we start getting into our highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. Towards the bottom, just in case we do drop lower, we got to go all the way back to August 2024. Around here, we do see a couple of days list mark 75.21, and we also have 73.77 for Starbucks. So there it is on our good coffee that we have there. Tesla this morning. Tesla, you know what? Tesla's just right between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. So they had a big day not so long ago, so you could see how that's reacting there. I'm going to mark down a level 284.65. I'm also going to mark down the high of the pre-market, which is going to be right up here at 289.97. And once you do that, I think you're pretty much set. I mean, you're cover highs and lows in the area there. I don't think you need to add anything else, so we'll leave Tesla alone. Looks pretty good right now. Let's take a look at Nvidia this morning. Nvidia, threw my mouse all over the place here. Nvidia's dropping pretty nice here, and almost trying to make a new low. At the moment, it is at 104.30, so we'll slam it there. Towards the top, you don't need to add anything, guys. This is just beautiful. You're all set there. Highs and lows for the last 2 trading days, doing an amazing job. 102.40 is great towards the bottom here, and then we have 99.47 on Nvidia, which again looking very active. 9.9 million shares traded right now, and the drop continues on it. Last but not least is our buddy that has entered our usual suspects list is PLTR, right? PLTR is going to get probably the rookie award of the year for as far as stocks for us, because man, they are definitely in here. 109.88 is down 4.3 million shares traded right now, surrounded by the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. If we look towards the bottom, the big resistance area was at 98.47. Outside of that, you really don't have much in here. 103.86 could be a good area. Other than that, I think you're pretty much set on PLTR. You got plenty of highs and lows towards the top. I don't think you need anything else on this list. All right, let's see here. Peter, what is our team watching this morning?
Look, our team has got their lists in, and looks like everybody's trading today. I can't blame them. It's a good, active market. Let's just go over the highlights because we're getting close to the open. And Andrew looks like he's getting ready to go out there from China. So love to hear from him. If you're in the chat room, you'll be able to understand how that's going. Anyways, Thor's got his listing. He's going to be watching Amazon and Bank of America, interestingly. Jared's going to be watching PLTR, Starbucks, FSLR, Microsoft, and Meta. Andrew himself has got his list in PLTR, Tesla, Nvidia, and SMCI. Eamon's just going to be watching the tech sector and see what happens there. Lenny's got his big list as usual. He's sort of got all the stuff we've been talking about. Tesla, Nvidia, MUs, MSCI, Starbucks, FSLR, my God, I can't even say it, and Caterpillar. Brendan's going to be watching Nvidia, Tesla, PLTR, and SMCI. Brian, also trading live this morning, going to be watching Nvidia, Tesla, PLTR, and the markets overall. He's got some diddly-doodly trades. Oh, the diddly-doodly's back. We love it. All right. Phil and myself also have our lists in. Pierre's got his list. Paris, of course, is going to be in the chat room trading Tesla, Nvidia, PLTR, Starbucks, and SMCI. So there you go. You can check out the rest of our mods in the chat room. Carlos has got his list active at the bottom of the screen, so you can see that there. And let's get it going. Andrew's live in the chat room. We're still here with you on YouTube. And we are now 6.5 minutes away from this open. And man, it is a rough and red day so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yikes,
all right,
yikes.
We're off the chat. It's just us on YouTube now, friends. Andrew has taken over there, and Brian as well, so we'll let them do their thing. Connection looks good. Andrew's screens looks pretty nice from China. So awesome. All right, let's see here, friends. Let's get ready for the market open. I got my 5 minute, I got my 1 minute on PLTR. I'm gonna just set up these screens, and we'll get rocking and rolling here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's take a look.
What am I going to watch? FSLR. There's so much to watch. Starbucks. My God. The humanity, as Brian would say.
The humanity. Yes. Okay. Let's put my list here. We have a couple. I'm excited. Should be fun today, man. Should be a lot of fun.
I'm hoping. I'm trying not to get too excited. I don't want to assume a direction because we've seen reversals on these types of things. So let's be careful with it. But yeah, looks like it's good. All right, I'm just going to take a quick bio break so that I'm ready and raring to go for the open. So I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Do it. All right. SMCI, Starbucks, Tesla, Nvidia, PLTR. For those that are new, as usual, I'm going to be waiting my 3 minutes. I don't take any trades before that. So we'll wait 3 minutes before the market, after the market opens, before taking any trades. And then we'll look for a 5-minute ORB. Sometimes within that 3-minute mark, there are some great break opportunities depending how those candles form. So if I see some of that, I will be it's just Andrew showing his network delay. Not bad. Andrew's network delay is like 280. So that's not bad. A little bit higher than what DAS recommends, but I traded at 400 ms and it was perfectly fine. Yep. Guys, be careful. Do not FOMO. There are massive inverted FVGs that have been created. Yeah, no FOMO. It's just let the price action come to you. Let the setup come to you. That's very, very important, right? Once that bell rings, let's be cool, calm, and collected, and we'll find opportunities. I mean, we got a whole day of trading to find opportunities, right? You might not be available the entire day, but let's lay back, chill, and wait for some opportunities here. All right, just let's see. What do we got going on? All right, very good. Can you explain what you look for in the 3-minute as an exception to the 5-minute? Yeah, so for the 3-minute, I am normally looking at, we got a little bit of time, so I can go back to, let's see yesterday, if we have any good examples. I think PLTR. Not the cleanest. Let me see if I find another one. SMCI. Starbucks. Yeah, I have to give you an example. It's hard to explain without showing you guys. Let's look at Tesla. Let me see Tesla. Let's look at yesterday. Yeah, I got tons of pictures. I got screenshots, but again, not the time to pull them up now. I'm getting close to the market open. Here's one. Right, so this is before the 5-minute. You start getting this drop. Usually, if I get this drop here a little bit earlier and then it pops up like this and drops down, that can happen before 5 minutes. So that type of setup I do like, and we've seen it happen very early on. Here's a little bit later in the game, but that's usually what I'm looking for, right? So, but I gotta do a webinar. I got tons of these examples. I've been taking screenshots of all my trades for this month so I can use them for a webinar because examples is the way to better learn. So I plan on doing that eventually sometime this year.
And I gotta echo what Carlos was just telling you guys. You really don't have the FOMO, right? Do not force a trade. Don't think I'm missing the move. I got to jump in now if it's not your setup, because that's where you can get caught in the reversals. Just there will be another trade. That I can guarantee you. There will be another trade, right? Sometimes you miss the move. It happens pre-market and you're not along for the ride. That's just the way it goes. Don't force it at the open if you're not seeing the setup that you're looking for. So this is weird. Hold on a sec. Visa is calling. All right. We there, Carlos?
Yep. I'm back. Stepped away for a bit.
Sorry. All right. Sorry about that. And I had a call at the same time. We left everybody in silence. All right.
Radio
We're
silence.
back. Okay, guys. 30 seconds to the open here. Again, I'm not presuming which direction this market is going to go. I mean, everything is looking very red going into the open, but we just had a little bit of a move up in the last 15 minutes. So I'm just going to wait and see. Wait and see what we get. I am sort of expecting generally a big pop up and then maybe a further sell off. But if that doesn't play out, that would be my rising devil type trade. If that doesn't play out, then I'm sitting on the sidelines watching. So let's see what happens. Here we go. There's the opening bell. And we are off to the races, everyone. Let's see what we get.
All right, let's do this.
All right, guys. I'm just watching the price action, see what's happening.
Yeah.
We got interesting. So we did get an initial move down. I thought maybe the market was just going to go straight down, but then it's now it's sort of, I don't know. I'm not sure what we're doing.
Yeah, it's a little bit all over the place right now.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's on purpose, Carlos. You keep cutting in and out.
Yeah, I'm blasting my AC, man. I had it off and I looked over and I'm like, why am I so hot? It is 80 degrees in here, so I got this thing on high, so it's making a lot of noise. Yeah, so I'm just muted for now.
All right, FSLR actually moving up, and SMCI moving up a little bit too. But again, it's interesting. The semis are making a little bit of recovery. Tesla's just losing it here. So, you know what? I was looking for a pop up at SMCI and then to take it short, but I do not like the way it's popping up and down. If I saw a really strong move and then some hesitation, I might have taken it short. Right now, I'm just not confident in it. It might be a great short. I just don't know. Don't. Yep. I mean, look at what the other semis are doing, right? They're Nvidia and AMD are actually sort of looking like they want to push a little higher now, maybe recover some of the early losses that they got. Apple, sort of same type of picture, right? So things look very like the market overall is looking weak, but yeah. See, look at SMCI. Look at that pop now. That's
yeah, it's a nice little bounce there.
You got see. This is why you got to be careful on these things. I'm not going to risk getting caught on this. Starbucks looks a lot like SMCI. Oddly, it's also popping up after first minute or two of uncertainty.
Yeah, I need them to wait. Let's wait my 3 minutes. Don't leave without me. But things are moving, man. Let's see here. Tesla, interesting. Would SMCI be considered 1 minute bullish? Let me see. No, yeah, I don't know, to be honest. You talking about like a 1 minute ORB breakout? I have no idea, man. It can maybe. I don't trade that strategy, but you do have like an engulfing happening here, but against micro, right? So you gotta be careful. It's not like a 5 minute engulfing or 15 minute, which is again, higher time frame.
Carlos, I can't believe I'm trading before you, but I did take a short with Nvidia, trying to get it short from VWAP. Okay. I'm very aggressively. I already took a partial, moved my stop to break even because I just don't trust this. And there you go. Yep. I just got stopped out at break even. If it dropped right away, I wanted to be there for the move. But look now it's moving back up. So, you know, I got my little partial. I got out. I don't know where this market's going, but I thought I'd try. So hey, I took the damn trade. That's a win for me.
That is definitely awesome. That's awesome.
Even if the entire trade lasted, how long did? Let me just call up my thing here. It lasted 26 seconds. 26 seconds.
That was fast.
Well, but I knew what I was doing. I stuck to
Yeah.
the strategy
Yep.
that I'd set out for myself. So I'm actually pretty happy with that trade, despite how fast
Yeah.
and relatively ineffective it was.
All good, man. All good. I like POTR here, holding above the V up. If we can hold here, this can be a nice 5 minute ORB. There's our 5 minute range there, so that looks good. If we can close this candle right now, start the next one, and show some strength, it could be awesome. So even right now, it's setting up good. But I want to trade it for a 5 minute ORB, so I have to kind of wait here. So let's see. Let's wait. There it is. Give us a pullback. Come on, come on, come on. Don't leave yet. A pullback here will be beautiful. I will go long if I see that. If I go in right now, I'm chasing it too far from the VWAP. I need to get a better entry. So I'll keep my eyes on that. Let's see if there's anything else that looks good. Nvidia right above the VWAP. It's good.
Just a reminder, everybody, it's a big economic day today. In 9 minutes, we've got the Chicago PMI, which normally has sort of not a huge impact, but I'm thinking today the market might be sensitive to this type of economic data, so we'll see. And then, of course, 10 o'clock, we've got all the PCE prices, personal spending, personal income, all that stuff's coming out at 10 o'clock. So keep that in mind if you're trading this open.
Yeah. I like Starbucks. It has done the move that I like. Here's the pop, the drop, and then the bounce of the VWAP. I don't like the volume though. I'll tell you that much. That's not looking so hot. But this is my entry. I'm gonna go long. Yeah, let me go long. I'm trying to convince myself that that's what I want to do. The volume is not great, but it's long. Wow, seriously, I could have had a 20 cents better entry just seconds ago. But let's go long. This is the move I'm talking about. We're trying to explain this earlier. Sometimes this happens before the 5 minute mark. So I didn't really look at this as a 5 minute ORB. I'm looking at this move that I like, bouncing off the V up. This is the breakout candle, and then we get the bounce and the confirmation candle that we're actually going to be stronger. So my entry should have been much better in here. Stop loss 76.38, right around here. Because if we start making new lows here, then it's not going to be in play no more. So let's see if we could hold. See if we could hold.
I think you're trading against Andrew and Brian.
Oh. That's not good. Oh. I can't hear them.
Well, no, actually, sorry. They've shorted PLTR. You're in Starbucks. I forgot.
They shorted PLTR. Oh, see, that's why you don't chase. I'm glad they're. Yeah, that's why you don't chase. You can't chase, man. You gotta. Because I almost thought about it, but we didn't get our pullback, right? Because if you get a good entry on PLTR, then you could somewhat still survive this, right? But if you don't, you're definitely stopping out right now for sure. But yeah, there it is. Good short for them. I can't see Andrew's screen. I don't think he's sharing it because
Andrew, I think for Ben, he's not sharing his screen, so
okay.
It's just Brian's screen.
Gotcha. I tried listening to him, and I can't do this listening and run the show at the same time. I gotta tell him it's not gonna work.
I'm trying to do it now. It's hard.
Nah, it's not. I gotta text him. So we'll send him an email after this. It's just not possible. Gonna do so much, man, until we get robots chips in our brains. PLTR long invalidated. Yes, absolutely. PLTR short, good. Hopefully that works out for you guys. I am long Starbucks right now for a possible breakout. It's just the volume is not there. So this will be one that I'll have to be very patient with because it's not going to be explosive. I think it's going to be a slow dragger into higher prices if they actually can make it. So not looking hot right now with the way this price action is at the moment. So we'll see. It's moving pretty slow.
Andrew's also shorted Tesla, looking for a further move. He got in pretty late on this. Felt like he was chasing it a bit, but he might get a further move down. We'll see. I'm still watching Nvidia. I don't like the way it's moving. I just don't trust it doesn't seem like it knows what it wants to do today.
Yeah, SMCI pretty much garbage. Didn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean it's already down 20%, so probably not too much of a surprise. It's just trying to find its level here.
Yeah, Starbucks, we have it right here. We don't want to go below this 76.38 area, so right around here. Anything below that is no good. Our strategy is not in play. So I always base it off V, right? Like here's the VWAP line. but I never placed my stop on VWAP because stocks love to come back and test VWAP, right? They love to come back and test VWAP. So I always give it a little more room. And in some cases, when I give it a little more room off the VWAP, right, I'll look for technical levels. So, for example, like here or here, right? These are two good areas where you don't want the price action to go below that. Below that, your strategy is not in play.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What happened, Peter? Good?
Oh, no, I was going to say I didn't think you were pointing at the chart we were looking at, but you were. I just didn't see your lines.
Gotcha.
My bad.
Gotcha.
So come on, give Carlos a move. Come on, Starbucks.
Starbucks. You
know what? He promises. He's going to spend his first $8 of profit on a venti coffee. So
you know, Starbucks is probably going to flush me down to like 74 for making fun of their sizes earlier. That's what's going to happen.
Look, I'm making the commitment
right
for
now.
you, Carlos. If this can go green and you can make money on it, first $8 of profit is going to go into a venti coffee.
Absolutely.
Right?
Out of the first partial, we're going to take that out.
I want you to bring the cup tomorrow. Just to prove.
I will.
Here we go.
I'll bring the
Come on,
cup.
Starbucks.
Absolutely.
Do it for Carlos.
Absolutely. Can anyone tell me why the stock market gap down today? Data, right? The jobs number came out actually pretty bad, Peter. You know,
very bad
than what was expected. So, not
worse
good. Peter,
worse in 4 years. Again, January 2021 is the last time the numbers came out this low, and they were half of what was expected. So I think we delivered only 62,000 new jobs versus an expected 114,000, which already was a number that was lower than it's been in 4 years. So, and then add on to that the fact that we also had some of the what other data that we had come out? The GDP numbers showed that the U.S. economy was contracting versus a small growth. So double
Peter,
whammy there.
We got this 9:45 Chicago business PMI April.
Correct.
How does that affect the market? I'm in a trade, man, and I don't got a cushion. Should I be concerned here?
Yeah, you should, especially if you're right at your break even, because this thing could throw the market in one direction or the other. Now, normally it doesn't have a huge impact. I'm assuming, and this is just a guess on my part, that the market might be a little more sensitive to the data because of the other economic data we've got. So this number comes out as a relative scale. The forecast was 45.9. Anything better than that will just be seen as a positive. Anything less than that will be seen as a negative. The last two monthly numbers have been better than expected. So for your sake, I hope it's better than expected. You can get a little bit of a pop, but there is a risk. Who knows, right? We got 2 minutes for that number. We'll find out together. Unfortunately, we'll probably see it in the price movement before we actually see the number itself.
I'm hoping we can get a cushion here on Starbucks a little bit higher. So
come on,
moving
Starbucks.
Towards the high of the day. If we can get a nice cushion, we can wait through those numbers. But waiting to that number, like when you're close to your break even or even below your break even, your entry, that's not good because you could blow right by your stop loss, right? So remember, guys, our stop loss here, 76.38. We don't want to go below that. Okay, so see, we're pushing higher here. See if we get to above 78. Now the breakout.
If you can get just a little bit higher here, the other option to trade this would be to move your stop very aggressively to break even. And if it spikes down on the number, then you just start looking for a re-entry point, right, at a better price. If you think it's just a short-term move. But that's up to you as to how you play your strategy. So
agreed. What is my target on this trade? No, previous day close is too far. I would love to get the high of the this level here, 79.29. Previous day close at 84. I mean, that's a stretch. I don't think we'll get there. We'll love like 79 would be awesome, but we'll be taking partials, on the way up there for sure. So, and again, the closer we get to this time frame, the more aggressive I'm gonna be. I just don't need any negative news dropping this lower. Like here, we're looking okay because we do have a buffer all the way to 76.30, 76.38. So we got a little bit of a cushion, but that's eroding. It's not good. And we got a minute.
I'm watching Nvidia. It's pretty ugly, this Nvidia trade this morning. So I'm glad I got out of it.
That is
nasty.
It is just
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
choppy. It's choppy. And
it
every
is
time it looks
choppy.
like it's about to drop, it just gets some support around 104.50. And if you remember,
Yeah.
104.50 was a number that had been in play a couple weeks ago, and it looks
Mm-hmm.
like it's back in play today. So, anyways, we'll Nvidia not looking like a great target right now. Apple had a big sell-off after initial little bit of chop. It's had a decent move down.
Nice.
And now we've got just 10 seconds here. The Chicago
Yep.
PMI again, impact or not, it's really tough to tell. I'm waiting
Fingers on the
eagerly on
trigger
this.
here. Our
Yeah,
safeties are off.
here we
Let's make
go.
sure we execute properly here.
All right, numbers should be out
Oh,
now.
what did I just?
I don't see it
Hold on.
yet.
Okay, here we go. All right, let's see.
Come on, is it doing anything? The number came
Not
out. It's
only yet.
worse than expected, so keep that in mind. 44.6 is the number. 45.9 was the expected number, so not quite as good as expected, and it's lower than March and February numbers. So, yeah, it's. Let's see if the market does anything with that
Yeah, see
again.
if we hold
Sometimes
here.
it reacts, sometimes it doesn't.
Do I journal in real time while trading? No, I do not. I do screenshots later in the day, or sometimes mid morning, and then I'll have to come back and copy those screenshots of the application that it saves them, and then I'll put them into OneNote. So I don't do it while trading live now. Peter, I know at least you jot down some notes to kind of remember what trades you didn't take specifically, right? Because those are the ones that you might
Yep,
forget, but which is awesome.
absolutely.
Pretty good to do that.
Yeah, I always journal. I think of it like my journaling is focused on my decision making because that's what I want to practice, right? Am I making smart decisions? Am I making consistent decisions? So I want to journal every decision I've made, whether the decision was to enter the trade or not enter the trade, because that's the way I can sort of get the full picture. If I only journal the stuff where I decided to take the trade, in my view, I'm only getting half the picture, right? Especially being that, as we know, I'm an under trader and I make many more decisions not to trade than I do to trade. I need to analyze those and make sure that I'm not just, I'm not making poor choices.
Yep. Yep. All right. Looks like we survived the 945. We're right here. We didn't
Yep.
drop aggressively,
And
so we survived it.
and really no
But
market
the
impact. It
volume,
looks like the market took a little bit
yeah,
of a pause at the number, but didn't get any directional movement. So that's good. That's good, I
yeah.
think.
I think the big one this morning really did the damage, right? This one's just
Yeah.
probably didn't add much to it. Um,
Now, that being said, Carlos, we do have some more significant market data or economic data coming out with these PCE prices. And there's you get the month over month PCE, you've got the core PCE, you've got the year over year. So there's a whole slate of data that comes out. Plus, we have pending home sales, personal income, and personal spending.
yeah,
Now, those last three are of lower impact than the PCE data, but the fact that it's all coming out together, again, if it's all negative, I think this market's going to react to it. If it's mixed, we may get no reaction. So
yep,
just
yep.
keep that in mind. That's 12 minutes away. Those coming in. Andrew's doubling down on his Tesla short. He's adding some more short here, hoping it's going to continue lower. And just a reminder, everybody out there, it's I'm going to be gone for the next week and a half or so. Lenny is going to be sitting in with Carlos, so that's good. It'll give you a
Yeah,
different
yeah,
perspective on the market. Be good to have Lenny supporting Carlos here. So I'll
yeah,
pop
yeah.
in from time to time to say hi, of course, when I can. But other
That'll
than
be
that,
awesome, man. That'll be awesome. I'm actually gonna be. I'm traveling tomorrow, Peter, to Florida.
oh,
So I'm traveling tomorrow after the pre-market show. I'm out, and I'm gonna do
ah,
this show from Florida a Friday and Monday. Yeah, I got a surprise trip. I gotta head out to. So, but I'm gonna log in from over there. It should be perfectly fine. So we'll see how it goes. Wish me luck.
okay. Yeah, no, good luck with that.
Yeah,
I like the way Starbucks is looking now, Carlos.
it
Let's
is
go, baby.
looking really nice,
I
and
need that. I want to
yeah,
see that first partial
you
because that
want to
tells
see
me
the
you're getting the
cup.
coffee.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I might not parse you now, just to not have to go get the call. For you. But we got a great question, which I want to answer here too. It's like we had a question from Taylor. He says, Carlos, do you mind explaining why you're long Starbucks? It has bad earnings, gap down this morning. You know what? This is the one thing, and I'm going to take a parse now here, that you got to be very careful with. Whether you gap
incoming.
Whether the stock gap down or not, I am a purely technical trader. Like, I don't care about the news. I really just want the news to create volume and volatility. That's it. I'm all technicals, right? So for me, whether this stock is falling apart and they're going to go bankrupt next week, I could care less. They gave me my signal here to go long and what I'm looking for, right? We know, you guys know already by now, the more you watch this show, the more you hear the same thing over and over again, because a lot of trading is repetition. When I got my signal here on this move, that's my entry to go long, right? The breakout candle, the confirmation candle, we're going long when we get the okay to go here. And that's my move. This stock can be gapping down, gapping up. It doesn't matter. It's all about the price action and the technicals, right? So what you don't want to do is come in, when we talk about this a lot, me and Peter, you don't want to come in with a bias that, hey, Starbucks is gapping down by 8, 9, 10%. It's going to keep going lower. I used to think that way as a new trader. It's not the case. That's not the case. In fact, a lot of times they do the opposite, right? It could be an overreaction, and a lot of times they're long the rest of the day, right? So keep that in mind. Come in with a thesis, but not with a bias when it comes to gapping up or down, right? So 2 partials so far here. I see tons of ask on the level 2. I mean, we got a big order of 78.10, so hopefully we can head back up there.
And that's what you just said, Carlos, is an important distinction that I want people to just don't gloss over. Come in, you can come in with a thesis, but not a bias. So what does that mean? What practical terms, what does that mean? Don't just say, hey, bad news, it's gapping down, therefore it's weak and it's going lower, right? That's a bias. There's no, you're not really, using any of the technical data that the stock is telling you to make that determination. You're just saying, because it was previous week, I assume it's going to continue being weak. The thesis would be, the difference between that and a thesis would be, in my mind, right? This is my definitions of it, but hey, it had weak earnings. It's gapping down so far this morning. So if it exhibits this behavior, then I will trade it short, right? To me, now you've got a thesis, right? I saw it being weak earlier based on the results, but I need to see this type of behavior to confirm it's going to continue going that way. To me, that's how I structure, for example, my fallen angel trade. So on Starbucks, exactly that approach. If it had come back up and tested a level and then showed weakness, I would have taken it short. It didn't do that at the open, actually, right? It dropped off the open, then pushed back fairly strongly and went above the VWAP or the technical level, and then supported there. So it actually broke my thesis, even though I was looking for a short trade on Starbucks myself. It broke my thesis, therefore I said, no trade, I'm out. Mm-hmm. Carlos had a very different thesis. His was, I don't really care about the pre-market activity. If I see this strength and support at a technical level, then I'm willing to go long as long as I get the right signals. And he just described that to you. So, it's great. Like we had actually opposite theses, but the good news was that, right, mine failed. I didn't take the trade. Carlos succeeded. Mm-hmm. He did. And look, I avoided a losing trade, and Carlos successfully traded a winner. So, I want you to be thinking about that when you're taking your trades, right? Do I actually have a plan, a thesis on this, not just a bias? So hopefully that distinction makes sense to you.
Yep. Awesome, guys. All right, so far, Starbucks, again, just really the volume really slow. So we got a good 2 partials already. It's on a very turtle-like uptrend. All right, so it's just very, very slow.
It's tortoising higher, you're saying?
Yes, it's exactly what it's doing.
Yeah. So, Carlos, at this point, do you move your stop to break even? I know you use mental stops.
Yeah.
But
so my stop will be at break even now. But I still keep playing the price action. Like, I know here's where I want to get out. But if I start seeing like a mountain pass double top appearing, okay, I'm probably gonna get all out before I even get to my break even. I'm not gonna let,
Okay.
if I'm seeing something that looks weak or short, I'll either take a partials very aggressive or just take everything out. Right? There's no point in bringing something back to your break even. So, but for sure, if I feel that it still can go higher, if it comes back to my break even, I'm out. Like there's no wiggle room there. That's a
Right.
rule. You don't want to break your rules, right? So
Good. Okay, so Tesla is continuing to drop here, so it's showing a lot of weakness this morning, sort of like the overall market. It looks very much like the market indices. Nvidia continues to be choppy ugliness. Not loving that at all.
which is that one?
Nvidia.
Nvidia. Yeah. Yeah, Nvidia's not
And
looking pretty at
no,
all.
and that's okay. I mean, that happens sometimes in the morning where it's
Yep.
not looking good. And on, compared to how it's traded in the past, PLTR also not looking all that great. PLTR has been a great trade for days and days and days. Like we said, though, right? It's good to have a thesis, not a bias. So in this case, I would say most theses probably failed because this thing
Yep.
is just it's not done anything of interest yet. Although Andrew is long PLTR, he did take a trade because he has a different approach, right? He was looking for
Yep.
momentum, and see that big green candle that he got at 944. That was a good signal for
Nice.
him, momentum-wise, to say there's a potential long in it. That's when he got long, I think, in the chat room,
Yeah.
and
Awesome.
is in a good position now to be able to sort of ride out any chop to see if he can get a higher move.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome, man. All right, so Andrew trading from China. Follow him on Instagram, by the way, too. He's putting some really nice pictures. The places
Yeah,
he's
he was
visiting.
posting some pictures from
Yeah,
where is he from? Tiananmen Square
yeah, yeah.
and the Palace Gardens. I first
Mm-hmm.
forget what it's called, but
Forbidden City, the
yeah,
Forbidden City. He went there.
Forbidden City. That's what it's
Yeah,
called. Yes.
and let's see here. Yeah, so a lot of pretty cool stuff. So there he is running. That's pretty low. If you jumped it, you could probably hit your head. Looks low, at least in the picture. But yeah, definitely follow him at bearwithtraders.com. You can see him doing his thing there. And he voted for Canada. Oh yeah, that's right. That took place. So, yep. The stories are fun though. He puts a lot of cool stories here. This is run on Beijing. So
Mike
come
is
across us literally. It's a
Carlos.
lot of fun.
I find this hilarious because
Yep.
Mike is sending me. He's probably sent me 5 messages so far
Yeah.
about the hills
Mm.
on our marathon course,
Yeah.
and he picked this marathon specifically because
Mm-hmm.
he thought there was it wasn't supposed to be very hilly. I think he's seeing a lot more hills than he anticipated, and it's not making him happy. So
Yeah. The hills is what get you, man.
yeah.
I done 80 miles, 100 miles on a bike very easily. Well, not very easily. Excuse me. That's not after some training, but to do a couple of those miles with some climb, it's brutal, man. Brutal on the calves, brutal on the muscles. The climb is what gets you on. So hopefully it's not too bad, man.
Right.
Now you
I hope
ran.
not.
Have you ran some mountains, or has it all been fairly flat?
It's all been flat because
Mm.
I was told we were doing a flat marathon.
Oh,
So yeah, I have
oh
not been doing
man,
any hill training.
that is not good. Starbucks, by the way, guys, right at my break even. I don't think we're gonna get a bounce here. I'm just gonna get out. I don't think we're gonna bounce. Yeah, I'm just gonna jump out of it. It just looks, you know what? It's the volume looks so bad on this thing. So it gave us a decent sized move here. I'm glad I took 2 partials, and yeah, we're out of it. We'll find something else. But all right, there's Starbucks. Tesla. Tesla turned out to be a great short for those that took it. That turned out to be really nice actually. Um, Nvidia, PLTR, and everything just looks. Other than Tesla, things look very messy out here, Peter. That's something that looks great. Maybe SMCI. SMCI long could be a opportunity. Do we trust it? Yeah, Matt props. I'm looking at SMCI. I see a lot of ask out here too, so this could be interesting for a long. Did Peter free? I think Peter froze. Peter?
No, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh.
I was just checking my flight status, making sure everything was still
Oh yeah,
good.
yeah.
You
So
can
you're good
tell
to
it's one of
go.
those days, right? When you're on travel, sort of near travel mode, you get all distracted.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with
On
that,
to
man.
everything.
Go enjoy
All
yourself. Have
right,
a great
Tesla.
time.
Tesla's down.
It could be a yeah. It is stuck at 30, Matt props, but it could be a good scalp to maybe the high of the pre-market. Get 30 cents, but yeah, it's volume starting to come in now. Oh, we got data, right? 10 o'clock. Correct? Am I right? Am I wrong? Consumer spending, 10 a.m. Personal
Yes.
income.
Yes. Let's see. What have I got so far? Home sales. Whoa. Home sales were up significantly. Interesting. PCE price index up a little more than expected. 2.2% was the year over year growth, came out at 2.3. Interestingly, the core PCE month over month was 0 versus an expected 0.1%. The pending home sales, again, is the interesting one that's much higher. 6.1% growth on home sales compared to a 0.9% anticipated number. I don't know what that means. Why are people buying so many houses? That's a big difference. And then spending up marginally 0.7 versus a 0.6% estimate, and personal income up marginally 0.5 versus 0.4. So there you go. So actually that's good economic data that offsets a little bit of the negative stuff we got this morning, and we're seeing the market react. So
Yeah, seeing some good reaction here. Trying to see what is the best risk to reward that we could possibly join this this move.
78.50 here on Starbucks. Come on, give Carlos a big move.
I'm out of it already, Peter. I'm out. It came
Oh,
right
you're
to my
out
break
already?
even.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm out of it. Yeah,
Oh,
came to my
man.
break even, so it's right above it. And I'm
Oh.
like, I'm gonna jump out of this thing. So, but not a bad trade, man. I took two partials towards 78. We just didn't get the volume. The volume was just so bad. After 940, like it completely died out. So, but looks like a good move now. I might get to my target. I was looking for 79.29. Looks like it's looking to get out there. So yeah, pushing higher. Very nice. Let's see. I took a 10%, and then the next one I took a 20%. So yeah. So somebody asked me earlier too. I got 10%, 20%, and 50%. I don't use the 50% much, but the 10 and the 20 I use quite a bit. So um, it's a good move there. All right. Do we trust POTR for a long? Looks messy on the 5. Market recovering a little bit. SPY trying. I won't say recovering yet, but yeah, it's trying to at least level off, right? It's trying to level off at least and see if it could change the direction of things. Starbucks is gonna keep grinding higher, and it's done this before so many times, man. It overreacts. Starbucks, I think, a lot of times overreacts, and they just make so much money on profits, man. It's just they find a way to make it work, right? So, and people still buy their expensive coffees and whatever. It still happens.
Yeah.
How are our earning buddies today? Here's Meta 3.8. How's Microsoft? Microsoft down 2.3. We'll see what they do this morning. What is your feeling? What is your feeling when you got out of Starbucks and it went further up? No feeling at all, man. I mean, that used to bother me, but it doesn't anymore. Again, you know what happens is after you trade for so long, you've seen this so many times, it just stops affecting you in a negative way, right? And the euphoria is not as much on the same side too, right? So your feelings kind of not become numb, but it just doesn't surprise you. Like there's nothing that we haven't gone through, Peter. You've been trading for a very long time. It just doesn't surprise you anymore. Like this doesn't surprise me, right? But I know that it could have went the other way. This could have been down here, and I could have been giving back some of the money I made already, right? It could have gone either way. So you learn to live with the decision you make with the information you have. So you look at this. This is the information I have. It doesn't matter what happens after you make your decision. It really doesn't. Can maybe you pick out some stuff that you could have spotted here to make a better decision that could have turned out to this? Yes, you can. But once you make a decision, you make a decision, and it's just, again, you trade for long enough that nothing else surprises you. Very little will surprise you, right? So I know Peter's also been trading for a while, so it's the same thing. The stuff we've seen, right? And you guys too. Yep. You guys been trading for a while.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, I had that little early trade on Nvidia, and I'm looking at now going, you know what? I'm sort of happy. I'm still okay with the decision I made to try it. Didn't work. Now looking at the chop, I'm happy to be out. And, again, yep. I can only rate the decision based on the information I had at the moment. So, and you always have to remember that when you're rating your trade, especially if you're journaling at the end of the day or well after your trade, right? Don't look at what the stock did in the next couple of hours and say, oh, I made a bad decision to exit. Look, I missed all of this move. Did you make a good decision with the data you had at the moment? And if you want to change your decision model, then by all means, right? Are you going to regularly give your trades more room to see if you get the big move? Are you going to set a different signal? Right? Like there's different ways you could have made the decision, but don't judge the decision based on, the hypothetical outcomes. That's my opinion anyways.
Yeah.
Agreed. Drive yourself crazy doing that, right?
Agreed. Our good buddy up or down is calling up your TR. Yeah, it's a good 5-minute ORB breakout, and this can happen up to an hour. They work very well. So I don't like to use the wicks. I like to use the body of the candle. So you see it here. You had this breakout, failed. This one is giving you a little bit more room. Let's see if we can get going. But yeah, the 5-minute RB strategy, you can try now. You can try, and if you try it here and it fails, that's okay. You still got another setup forming here. So you can try it a couple of times. It doesn't only have to be once, right? So I just feel like things are very choppy, so I don't trust this breakout as much, but we'll see what the overall market wants to do here. All right, Starbucks, what a good move. Did anybody else join this trade? Did you stay? Hopefully you stayed in it, right? My entry could have been much better. Hopefully you stayed in this trade, man. Look at this go. That is just awesome on Starbucks. Tony, are you in this still? If you are, you're buying the cup of coffee. if you're still in it, you're buying the cup of coffee, my friend. Send us a picture. Yeah. You get to 79.29. It's the level I have up here. You're getting the cup. All right, let's see here. Only a large one. Yes, indeed. All right, let's see here. There goes his profits. All right, I don't see anything great. Looking for a trade because we made some money, but not enough to call it quits for the day. So we could still look for an opportunity. There is one. We won't force any, but let's look for one. Tesla could be leveling off here. Good reversal back to VWAP.
Does look like it is leveling off here.
The thing with reversals, like here will be the best entry risk to reward, right? Your risk being the bottom there, 270-ish, whatever, 270, 50. Reward being the VWAP. But man, I get burned so many times in these reversals back to VWAP. So I just don't have a good setup
Well,
for it.
right. And like, anyways, you're talking about the reversal back to VWAP, and I look at your Starbucks trade, and
Hmm.
it's a good example how your entire trade dynamics can affect the trade. So we were talking earlier about don't judge the result or the outcome after you made a decision. Don't
Hmm.
base a
Hmm.
decision on that result. And I think, Carlos, I'm looking at your exit, and your exit there made sense based on your entry. Remember when you
Yeah.
entered, you'd said, geez, like you were looking for a 20-cent better entry, which would have
Hmm.
put you much closer down to the VWAP and would have given you that
Yep.
much more buffer that you might have been able to hold this pullback
Oh,
and done this.
absolutely.
So,
Yep.
I think your decision making was fine based on where your entry was. If you'd
Hmm.
had a better entry, then maybe you would have been able to, withstand that pull down pressure. Otherwise, yeah, why risk it, right? You didn't want to
Yeah.
risk it at that point. So,
Yeah.
those are the things that, again, when you're journaling, it's a full picture. And I know I'm harping on this morning, but I feel it strongly because over the last few days, I was looking. Like yesterday, I had a day where I actually had a couple of red trades early on, and I managed to calm myself and say, okay, so it's not working. My setups aren't happening, and I waited a couple hours and waited and watched. And I think if you look at my trades, I had a grouping of a couple of trades around just as we were getting off the microphone here around 10:30, 10:45, and I actually ended up being red. But then in the
Hmm.
afternoon, there were some trade opportunities around 1:30, 2 o'clock, and that turned my whole day green. So I'm actually really happy as I was journaling that to say, you know what? I not only stopped when it wasn't working and waited for the next setup, but I was able to wait patiently for the few hours until the right conditions were available. And by the way, the only thing I traded yesterday was Nvidia. So not on purpose. It wasn't I was trying to get revenge on it. It's just that was the only thing that was giving me the signals I wanted. But I waited and then waited for my opportunity, and then managed to sort of get the positive trades that lent me a good day. So those are the days that actually encourage me the most and help me most, I think, in my trading psychology to say, you know what, there's a reason why we preach the sticking to your strategies, understanding what you're trying to do, and managing those outcomes, because that's what can give you that mental strength you need to get through
Yep.
the bad days where just nothing works, or the good days where it's going really well and you just don't want to throw it away. How do you know when to stop, right? How do you manage yourself? You don't get overly excited and give away all those good profits making foolish trades. So
Yep. 100%. Could not agree more. Got some great questions and some great comments here in chat, guys. DTS Trader, he went long Nvidia at 104.80 with the news. Bookmap also was looking very bullish. What do we think? So you went long here. I mean, that's good, man. It's working out pretty nice for you here. You got at least $1 on this thing, almost $1, maybe 80 cents. But the key thing will be is to, build a trade book around it, right? So you mentioned that the RSI was also 25. So write down all the things that you made this decision on, so you can repeat it, right? So that's the thing. You want to be able to repeat this over and over again. It looks like you're just trading it off the level 2 of the book map, which is level 2 essentially, primarily. But put other things around it and just journal, and you build this trade book so you can do it every single time. The reason why I take this trade over and over again is because I have very clear criteria of what I'm looking for, right? So you're gonna see me take this every single time. And the same thing you have to do here. So I think it's a great trade worked out, but more than it working out, how can you build a trade book around it? It's going to be important. Could you have gotten back in after the pullback? You exited on Starbucks? No, because I'm not going to get the risk to reward now. So even if I get back in here, look how further out I am from VWAP now, right? And so now I'm risking on not a quality trade, and this is not the same as, again, my trade book. This is my trade book here off the VWAP. I'm not seeing that here. This will be me trying to keep my trade open, right? That's trade is gone, is done. You got to look for a strategy. I don't have a strategy to jump in here long, so I'm not going to do it, right? And look, you would have risked how much? $1, maybe made $1, maybe, I don't know. It's just doesn't end up
yeah.
working out at times. So um, again, it's all about trade your trade book. Trade your trade book. When you have a trade book, and this is what we teach in P Capital, you can do it consistently over and over and over again. Nvidia breaking out here from that 5-minute range, right? which we've been stuck in. Look at this 5 minute range on Nvidia. We've just been stuck here. Not just Nvidia. It's a lot of them are like that, right? Was it POTR also breaking out? Do we have a long party starting here that we should join? There's a party starting to the long side. Let's see which stock has the best dancing partners. We can go dance here. Long. Let's see. SMCI.
Yeah, I gotta say, I got a little bit of a trader crush on Thor these days.
Yeah, what's Thor up to?
He's been killing it. He just posted another trade. He has been doing this day after day, and I know, like, he's been a great trader for years and years. But
Yeah,
I admire the fact that he's got, again, not a bias. He's got a thought process and an approach that he takes to the market where he says, look, he loves his S4 levels, and he says, here's where I'm entering. Here's the reason I'm entering it. And then and he sets a target right at the entry point, and he just waits and waits and waits. And the actually, if you look at the previous image that he put as well, like, you can see before it even hit that, he had identified the area that he was targeting. And what's amazing about it is that well, this picture's good. That picture's okay. Well, there you go. So you can see how, like, he'd entered, he'd put his stop, and look at how close it came at the point at which he's got the level there at 949. Like, it must have come to the penny or within a penny of his targeted stop at or target profit at 105.54, and pulled almost all the way back to his break even. But he held with it, and he said, no, my strategy's my strategy, and I'm waiting. And sure enough, his patience paid off, and it finally hit that level, and out he got, right? I like, that is, Eamon does the same thing. I truly admired that out of those gentlemen. They're excellent traders, right? They know what they're doing. They just do it over and over and over again. Does it always work? No, but their win percentage demonstrates that if you do it consistently, it's a net winning strategy.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And Thor does very well in these type of markets where we're, like, stuck in a range, because he trades these ranges, man. This is his bread and butter right here. He does very, very well. So it's a lot more opportunities. He's always going to find these trades no matter what the market is, but there's a lot more during this time when you're getting this rangy market opens. Like, we look at it in POTR, stuck in a range for the. You can see it better in the 5 minute, by the way. 5 minute shows a lot better. Look at POTR there. I'm sorry, POTR. Look at Nvidia. This 5 minute range has been tough. Tesla's the only one that broke the 5 minute range, and it just kept going. Starbucks broke it as well. We just didn't get that big momentum. And again, my entry was not the greatest. And SMCI also broke that 5 minute range. Everything else is stuck within that 5 minute range. Like, we didn't really move out of that. So awesome. Yeah, friends, hit the like button. Brittany, thank you so much for reminding me. I'm going to do the same thing too. 370, there it is. Hit the like button, guys. We really appreciate it. You know, it does nothing for me and Peter, really, but it does something for the show. So if you support the show, it is awesome. It helps the channel. We love you either way, whether you hit it or not. But, you know, if you have a free hand, you know, smack that thumbs up.
Sure. And, yeah. And, you know, why not? Give yourself a chance to get some prizes.
Yes, prices. My prediction is up. Daniela, yes. Timing is when, right? But it is up. I'm very overall bullish type trader. I like the market to go long, but yeah, it's all about timing, right? Can you get in on the right time when it starts doing that move? Matt, see, I don't use pivots because what I have is working. So I don't feel the need to change anything. Now, can I add it on here and see how it affects my decision making? Maybe. I tried so many things at the beginning, and I just kept everything the way Andrew showed me back in 2017. I haven't changed anything. I haven't added anything. I haven't taken anything off. And I love it, man. It works. And I think of things to remember is for you traders, don't go. And I'm not saying you're doing this, man. I'm just saying overall, because I've seen a lot of my mentees do this. They bounce around looking for so many different things, and all they have to do is just be disciplined. Like, just be disciplined first, and then start looking at different indicators that can help you out. But once you get the discipline part right, a lot of you guys are going to start crushing it. There's no question. There's no doubt. You're going to start crushing it. But the discipline is the hard part. It really is. And it takes a lot of time, man. Unfortunately. At least it did for me. It takes a lot of time. Nvidia. Look at the break on Nvidia. Very nice. Whoever took that out long there. Awesome. PLTR. Out as well. Yeah, Pig Wrestler, you can't fiddle too much with it, right? But we all go through it, man. I did the same thing too. But once you stick to it, you realize that, man, it's not the strategy. It's I need to get better at doing this, doing that, you know. Carlos, could you explain your thinking on the Starbucks trade? Apologies, missed it. Yeah, so this is I'll explain it quickly. This is basically my VWAP breakout trade, right? Which I look for all the time. You're gonna see me look for this breakout trade. This is my breakout candle. I like to see the confirmation bouncing off the VWAP. On the way back up, I want to see this candle show strength. Once the next candle opens up and it goes up, you show some strength, I want to go long. I missed the perfect entry right around here, but this is basically what I'm looking at. So you got the breakout candle, which I don't get in. I want to see the bounce off the VWAP. On the green candle here showing me strength, usually the next one, because this can go up and come right back down. I want to see, okay, we're really strong. Give me a green candle, give me another one, even with a pullback, that's fine. On the way up, we're going to go long. So that's usually my VWAP breakout. So not a 5-minute RB on that one. That's how I traded that. What I mentioned before is this tends to happen even within between 3 to 5 minutes. It can happen, right? This one happened a little bit later, but that's the strategy I trade. And then also the 5-minute ORB obviously is another one of my favorite strategies. Tesla above VWAP. Can we get what we just explained here? Let's see, right? So here's the breakout candle. Let's see if we get a pullback, and if we can get something. This looks pretty good. Got some volume too. So let's see. We just talked about it. Let's see if we can get it. If we do, then we will go long. The reason why we don't go long here is because many times this happens. You pierce through the VWAP, and then you do something, boom, and you head back down, right? So that's really a rejection of VWAP, right? You probably can go back to the low of the day. So we want to confirm that the buyers are actually in here for good, right? So let's see if we can get this candle, a couple of candles bouncing off the VWAP on the way back up into strength. We'll go long if we get that setup, right? That's the setup that we're looking for. So let's see if Tesla gives us that. It's looking good. So here's the pullback, and I will see. And then I also, when I'm doing this, I like to look also at the SPY, right? You don't want the SPY going too heavily against you. SPY's, pushing higher, so that's good. Because Tesla tends to move with the overall SPY. So you want to look at that as well. How you go from overtraining to being disciplined? I noticed how much money I was losing. Just kept losing money. So here's the bounce, here's the pullback. Volume is looking good. Let's see if we can get what we just talked about. Stop loss for this, guys. If we get a close entry to VWAP, stop loss has to be 24.74. Sorry, 24.74. 274.50. Right, that's where the stop has to be. So let's see. Let's see if we can get good confirmation here. I would love this candle to close green. The next one to open up, showing strength. That's the best scenario, right? Because we're not making a new high here, so that's not looking good at the moment. All right, here it is. Are we showing strength? We're hesitating. I like it. Let's go long. Yeah, so that's the move there. That's the move. Boom. I kind of broke it down a little bit there, but that's what we look for. So now we want to see the breakout, right? So let's see if we can break out. But this is the VWAP breakout that we trade all the time. Same thing I did on Starbucks, but Tesla looks a lot prettier because it got the volume. So if Tesla can get going, it would be nice. Stop loss 274.50. We don't want to go below that. If we go below that, our strategy is no longer in play, right? So give Tesla room, manage your risk. Tesla, you don't need a whole lot of shares to kind of get a good move. Carlos, this is the lightning bolt. The lightning bolt is very similar, but this is the way I learned it from Andrew when he was teaching VWAP breakout. But Peter, the lightning bolt that you teach, it's got to be very similar. I don't know as well as I know the
It
mountain pass.
is.
Okay, yeah.
It is. It's similar, but not identical. So
Okay, yeah, yeah. But it's got some similarities to it here. All right, we're
yeah.
approaching 277.50 would be nice. What levels do we have here in the 5 minute? We do have 279.50. That's a stretch though. I don't think we have that big of a move in us. Let's see here if we can get settle nicely above the VWAP. Let's see if we can get going here. The concerning part here is Tesla has had a big move already, like 271. See how big this move has had. So the buyers could be a little exhausted, so we might not get explosive move up. But let's see, 277.50 will take a partial if we can shoot up there. Let's see, struggling. See how it goes. I miss being able to see what Andrew's doing because he doesn't have his charts. That's usually how I can tell what he's like. I look over and say, okay, what the Andrew trade, and I can't see because he's not able to share from China. The bandwidth messes up his DAS. So,
and he's dealing with the jet lag over there in China. So
yeah. Level 2 on our trade here is not showing us anything, no big imbalances as I'm looking at level 2. So there's really nothing on both sides tells me this is a long or short. So just technicals right now on our good buddy Tesla. This is where we should get a pop. The fact that we're not doing it could be concerning, but let's get the pop going. Yeah, it's struggling. Oh, never mind. It is happening. 277.50. We'll take a partial here. There it is. Oh, wow. That's good. We're going to take two partials. There's two triangles there. Two purple triangles. Or pink. Whatever shows on your screen.
Double partial.
Double partial. That's a good, nice pop there. So let's see. Dollar plus. Let's see if the party can continue. All right, now this day is looking really good. Okay, now we could retire after this day for today only. We got to come back tomorrow. Peter, so what time is your flight tomorrow?
It's today.
Oh, it's today. Oh,
it's at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock today.
Man. That is awesome.
Yeah, so we got to head to the airport around 2, which means as soon as I get off here, I've got to do some final preparing of stuff. So I'm not really eager to find trades because I won't be in a position to manage them very effectively.
Yeah.
Right? And both just mentally as well as just time wise. So if I see something like that just fits my strategy 100%, then I might jump in. But stuff where you want to sit here and watch and manage the price action, that's not something I'm prepared to do.
You don't put yourself in that situation. So. Yeah.
Right.
That's why I kind of stopped trading on vacation a little bit. I don't trade anymore because if I trade the open, right? And if you're with family and kids, my kids wake up early, man. They're up like early every day. Sunday, Monday, doesn't matter. They are up. Saturday, they are up. I will get stuck in these trades, and it'll be like 10 o'clock, and my wife is like, honey, let's go downstairs, go have breakfast, go do things. So it holds you up. So I'm like, all right, I got to stop trading during vacation, because I don't want to be stuck in trades. So unless the time zone can help it, you don't want to be stuck in the trade. All right, we took a double partial up there. If it comes back to 276, we'll get out.
So was that double partial intentional, or did you just stutter on the
intentional? No. Okay. I hit it intentionally because it was a good move, and I don't see that explosiveness out of Tesla, and the fact that it has ran up so much. Yeah, it was intentional. 20% partials there because I just didn't think it was gonna be that great of a move up after I was in it. So I'm out of it. Quick scalp. We didn't get the continuation, but you know what? It's just It's moved so much. That was the concerning part of it, but yeah. Laptop. Yeah, we'll definitely. It is Wednesday. It is Wednesday,
It
friends.
is Wednesday.
Awesome. All right. Oh, look at Tesla's gonna go higher. Tesla is playing games with me. Oh, why you do that early? Look at that. How nice that is. If you took this trade with me, hopefully you're in it still. Again, I'm being a little more aggressive because him is close to my stop, my break-even point, and also I have a good day now, so I don't want to mess things up and give it back. So
That's fair.
we prefer the membership and some good old fashioned face-to-face time. Yeah. Daniela, membership is available. Yeah, Andrew is enjoying China. He loves going down there. He really does. He's been there twice. I think the second time, and both times he says he has had an amazing time, as he's having now. Yeah, membership, absolutely. Yeah, we prefer membership. We don't have to deal with the shipping of the laptop and all of that. We definitely prefer membership. But we just like saying laptop. Like laptop sounds better than membership. Laptop, membership. Laptop sounds much better to say. Rolls better off the tongue. Yeah, up and down. Yeah, so my stop on this trade, originally entering, is right here, right? Technicals, right? So it's gonna be right at 274. I got a great entry. This is perfect entry. So my stop loss is here. Worked out great. Look at the nice move we got here. Took two partials up here, and then on the way back down, I just don't want to risk anything. Giving money back, right? I got a green trade on Starbucks. I got this one out. It was pretty decent. I just don't want to give anything back. Like those two trades made my day. There's no need to allow this to have it come back to my lower than my break even point, right? So, but depending, some people like to keep their original stop, right? Because of stuff like this, where you can get a continuation still. But today's a weird day. Like you had a really big move on Tesla already, and I did mention that. Like that's the concerning part. How much more can we go right away, at least, without some pullbacks and picking up more buyers? So, but at least you got to see. It's funny. We just explained and we got to see it live here, so that's good. I'm glad, because sometimes seeing it live like that is much different than me even showing you a dead chart and explaining it to you. Going step by step like that is much easier. Peter, it's 10:30. I know you got stuff to do.
It is.
If you wanna hop off, I don't know if Andrew's gonna. I see him disconnected from chat, so maybe he might join us.
Hopefully.
Let's see.
He did promise to come on and do the giveaway.
Yeah. Yes.
There's Brian. See Brian starting to get in here.
Brian,
good day. No, I asked him if he was.
Is he joining us?
If he was going to come over, and he's just said he was too tired, and he was heading to bed. So it's.
Are you giving away the laptop? Who's we gonna?
I don't have the program.
I don't think I have I don't have the authority. I think we're not giving away laptops. We're giving away.
No, we're giving.
Aren't we giving away other stuff?
Yeah. Membership.
Yeah.
Annual membership.
That's usually what people prefer. Yeah.
And I don't have the authority. Maybe Peter, you as HR guy, maybe you have the authority.
We don't have a program. That's the thing. We don't have the little wheel he has
true,
on his computer.
Look at the SPY come back up, and the Qs are coming back up. I'm long some PLTR and some Tesla still.
Very good.
I'm
Nice.
long some Tesla. I'm long some Tesla calls, 275s, and they're coming up
Awesome.
nicely. Got those when it looked like we were going to start to break through the view app there back around 7, 10, 20, I guess it was.
Excellent. Nice.
Yeah. How's everyone else's morning been? Have you guys have you traded anything? What's the deal?
Yeah, we had a trade on Starbucks earlier today, somewhat of a VWAP
Nice.
breakout, and then now just on Tesla, got a couple of parcels, but it came back down. Oh, I gotta take the. Oh, hold on a second. I forgot to do this. I gotta bring the sound to the room, because they cannot
Yeah,
hear us.
Starbucks is at high of day.
Yeah, and let me bring in the screen as well. So hold on a second. Let me bring in the screen for our members here at BBT. It
All
says I have
right.
two screen on, but hopefully it's not gonna mess things up. I'm just gonna share it again. Hopefully that works. But yeah, that's it. Just those two
All right.
trades, Tesla and
Good
Starbucks.
deal.
So not bad. Good day. Good day.
So I see a few people trading TQQQ. Nice. AMD.
A little bit of an echo going on here, Carlos.
Yeah,
Is there
I don't hear it.
Elizabeth
Well,
Do you
traded
have
SOXL and SoFi?
Peter? You might
maybe it's
have
just
No,
you
I've
might
hit,
have the chat room on, Peter. Turn off your chat
I
room
do. You're
or
right.
mute it.
It's me.
Yep. Okay.
My
All right.
bad.
All right, guys. We're gonna hop off.
oh,
I know, Peter, you're getting ready for your trip, man. Good luck to you.
Yes, sir.
Have fun. We'll
Thank
keep in
you.
touch. And Lenny will be with us tomorrow. And then Brian, I'm gonna let you take over here. If Lenny, if you're around, if you want to jump on with Brian, that'd be great. Or actually, it's Paris now. Paris is back. I keep forgetting. So yeah, man. I'll let you guys do it.
Okay. Thanks. Take care, everybody.
yeah, Peter, have a good trip. Safe travels.
Thank you. I shall. I hope.
Just land, man. Just land. Just make sure you land. Don't open the doors in the middle of the air, in
I
the air. You know,
I don't
just
control that. I'm just along
keep
for the
keep
ride.
don't keep
So
the
yeah,
wheels
let's.
intact. You know, just land the plane. Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah, I'll do my best from the 19th row. That's all I can promise. So I'll do what I can. All right, later, everybody.
Cool. Cool beans. Okay, well, Tesla's kind of pulling back to my break even here, so I'm going to end up getting out of the rest of it. The Qs are now pulling back after that nice little run. Everything's dropping a bit. I didn't see the PCE data came out at 10 a.m. this morning. Um, the U.S. economy shrank zero point 0.3 in the first quarter. This is GDP, but usually this GDP numbers can be influenced by imports. So getting a lot of imports, and of course there was a lot of companies front running though that the tariffs that were going to go on. So I think imports really went up a lot, which probably had an impact on the GDP number. All right. Yeah, well, it wasn't a bad morning for momentum traders. I mean, if you traded it to the downside, I mean, we had that initial drop and then a bit of a pop. Some of the buyers who thought they were buying the dip came in there, and then yeah, you just got some. But the sellers were just waiting there for that pop, and they really sold the market off for the first 15 minutes. Looking back, I really missed out on one trade here. There was a SPY popped back up right at 950 and hit the 9 EMA on the 2 minute chart, and was a perfect rejection right there. It's my one of my favorite trades. I kind of missed that one on the SPY, unfortunately. So still long some PLTR. I'm out of my Tesla trade, and we'll see what PLTR does. Kind of feeling like I did this one in my Canadian account, so I can buy PLTR Canadian funds. It's kind of like a CDR. So I'm just thinking that's probably going to be back into a swing trade here on PLTR. Peter is going to France. He's going to be running in a marathon, I guess, or in with Mike. I'm kind of tempted to short Tesla right now. It's losing the VWAP. So, uh, damn, too late. It's gonna. Don't really want to chase it here. Q's and SPY are pulling back right now. We've gone through the 9 EMA and the 2 minute charts on both, and we might bounce off the 20 EMA, which is right here, right now. And there's the bounce. Okay, short a little Tesla anyway, just to see where we go. Mhm. Not loving this trade. It is really not a great setup, which is why I kept my size small here. It looks like it's going to come back up. Q's and the SPY are bouncing. Yeah, I'm stopping out of it. That was not a bit of a fake out there. Should have flipped my position on that one. That was going back up. Oh, well, yeah, we're right back at high of day. That was a nice bounce off the 20 EMA on both those indexes. All right. Oh, you've got it short. Well, PLTR is just that. I mean, it's just it seems to be the big meme trade right now. It's really it's hard to short it because it just, even though you can say it's super overvalued, um, from a price earnings perspective anyway, but it's just people just love to buy this stock, and especially today it dropped down and people just looked at that and thought, oh, there's another buying opportunity on PLTR. It's sort of self-fulfilling prophecy. Everybody thinks it's going to go up every pullback. It does. It's a good question on the VWAP. Uh, basically, yeah, I use calculate the VWAP um, for pre and post market hours as well. Uh, I don't I wouldn't short it previous day low unless it was coming up from underneath it. Like right now, you've got Nvidia previous day low is about 107.50, and we're trading at 106. So I mean, that could be a definitely an area that would be a sort of situation where you would consider to short it. But if it was coming down from above previous day low and coming down and hitting it, that would almost be an area where you would expect you'd expect some kind of support. You'd expect a bounce there. At the very least, you'd expect a bounce. Seems like we're kind of running out of steam with buyers here. Kind of did a double top on this buy in the Qs. Tesla's getting really choppy. Short at 116. That's yesterday's close. And I would have covered some that I would have I don't know if you were short from yesterday, but I would probably were. But I would definitely have covered some at the this morning, or at least taken a partial anyway. Yeah, we're not doing any giveaways this morning, unfortunately, with Andrew trading or traveling, I should say. So we will be back on schedule next week. Not really seeing anything I'm keen on trading. It seems pretty choppy right now. So I'd watch this 547 area on the SPY, because that is where we're seeing resistance right now, and it's kind of setting up like it wants to break out here to the upside. We'll see what it does here. I'm kind of seeing a bit of a ascending triangle, but we're pulling back now. There is this low is 545.31. It really needs to find some support above that. All right. Any other questions? We're still kind of chopping in a bit of a range here. Um, well, a lot of people. It just depends on your on what your trade book looks like. I mean, are you trading off the 2 minute chart, the moving averages, or are you um, are you using those, or are you using 5 minute? Quite often, Andrew likes to use the 5 minute chart. That's kind of his bread and butter trade. Um, See, look, we're breaking out here now. Knew it. So we did a bit of a pullback there, higher low. So yeah, it just depends on what your trade book looks like. I mean, I like to use the 9 and the 20 EMA on the 2 minute chart. Seems to be fairly reliable for support and resistance areas. Andrew likes to use a 5 minute chart for opening range breakouts. Um, I mean, some of our traders use 1 minute charts. Um, my risk management is, yeah, look, we're breaking out here. Um, no, maybe we're not. Um, my risk management, I mean, it's obviously, I mean, depending on what trade I'm taking, if I'm doing a VWAP rejection, then I kind of just read. I try to read the price action. Well, obviously, if I'm trading a VWAP rejection trade, my stop's pretty tight because if I short at the VWAP, you get a bit of a pullback maybe, and then it starts to move back again. Um, I'll cut my position. So I don't let my trades go too far offside before I just cut my position, because you don't you just want to be able to limit your losses. And quite often I'll take partials. Sometimes I feel like I take partials too early, but that keeps me sort of green. It gives me a little bit more confidence to hold on to a position, even if it's coming back to my break even. So if I get a little bit of slippage, I'm still quite often profitable. Hang on a sec here. Yeah, actually, a lot of people have said they've read my swing trade book, and it's helped with their day trading. But yeah, you can use and small caps is I don't you know it's hard to day trade small caps unless you're unless they're really in play. So we're just chopping along here. Yeah, there is more of a little of a definitely more of optimism about getting a rate cut. I mean, it seems to be everybody's hanging their hat on that now. With swing trading, you should be able to do 40 or 50%. Again, it depends what your risk tolerance is. It really depends on the market. And with day trading, it's the same thing. I mean, this has been quite a volatile market, so kind of fun to trade, but we get into some markets that get more difficult to trade. And again, it just depends on how much risk you want to take. I mean, if you want to keep your size, if you really don't want to, trade to your maximum size risk, margin, then, your obviously your returns are going to be less. Still pushing back up here. Tesla's pushing back up. Wow, big move on Tesla. All right, guys, I am going to grab some breakfast and yeah, I hope everyone had a decent day. We had a nice short on Tesla again today. It's almost same trade every day this week, so it's worked out quite well. And yeah, so we'll see where the market goes from here. We're still down quite a bit on all the indexes, so yeah, PLTR still hanging in there. Yeah, I still think, yeah, we've got that 547.50 that just looks like there's definitely some sellers there, but it does look like it keeps trying to retest that. So maybe yeah, maybe we'll break through it at some point. But the more times you test it and the more times it gets rejected, I think eventually people start to give up. You know, they give up hope. They lose hope and they start selling. There we go. There's a big volume bust out there. Right. Okay, guys. Have a good rest of the morning. I think someone's going to be coming on. I think it's going to be Paris, but yeah. Hope everyone had a good day, and we will see you tomorrow. Cheers, everybody.
All right, thanks, Brian. Have a great day. Yeah, Paris is coming on, and we're gonna disconnect from chat, continue on YouTube, and Thor will be here in our chat room. Take care, guys. Hey, Paris, how you doing?
Hey, good. How are you, Carlos?
Good, man. Good. Can't complain.
Amazing. How was the day?
Day was good. I had two trades on Starbucks and also Tesla, so not bad. I'm
Nice.
done for the day. Just here hanging out, listening to you guys.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. That was a good day overall. Let me go to YouTube. Let me share my screen. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen. How is everyone on YouTube? Hey, Diego. Thank you. Good to be back. So I did not take Tesla. I was one and done on the day on Apple. I am one and done. Did not trade anything else. Want to have a very clean day. And awesome team, man. Prasanna, hey. Uh, Pretty good, Diego. Very good. You shot a Tesla horn kit. Very nice. Yeah, at the open, I think it was a very good shot. I think more than Apple, I think Tesla was a great shot. I would have taken the same thing. The only reason I did not take Tesla, I took Apple over Tesla was because Apple gave me a pullback. Tesla did not. And that was the whole reason that I was a little hesitant that Tesla was holding below this 280 area. And I was thinking, okay, maybe it goes to 281, 282 for a pullback and give me a chance to short. But Tesla never gave me a pullback, but Apple did. And Apple, that's where before in the pre-market, when it was pulling back to this area, and this area is a very interesting area, 209.20 area. And it is basically because of if you look at the 30-minute chart on this, if you see here, this is this area, 209.20, 209.50 area. Like this area was actually rejected a couple of days ago. Yesterday, it was a good area, but then it claimed. And then this area bounced from 209.50, 209.20 area. And if it's gapping down and it's selling off in the pre-market, I would want to see it come back to the same area and see if it gives me a confirmation to short it. And when it came back in the pre-market, if you see, I even shorted in the pre-market, like just before the market was about to open, 929 something. And then it started selling off. I added heavy. And then when it did a pullback and it did try to break out and did not break out like a very clear, this usually I'm trying to figure out if this is a trap or this is a valid breakout. And this was a trap because it made a high of the day, but no volume came in at this area. If the volume doesn't come in at this area, I'm going to add very aggressive. And that's why this was the most aggressive add of all these two positions, because I'm going in the pre-market, you have to go small because you don't know how much volatility it is going to be. This was a tier 2 size and this was very heavy size. Uh, this was a half of tier size, this was a tier 2 size, and this was tier 3 size. So that's where, I went aggressive here because if I'm wrong on the trade, I'm not losing much on this. But if I'm right on the trade, I can scale out very nice. And then at the pullback, I was looking for this area 208. I saw a seller at 208. It dropped to 207 again, but it kept holding, kept making higher highs, and then I stopped out at break even. So that was my trade and only trade on Apple. And I did not trade much. I want to call it because I was very aggressive. I go with tier 1 or tier 2 size at the open, but this one was an aggressive size for me. So yeah, scaled out pretty nicely. So, who trade for earnings today after hours? Oh, really? I don't know if who does. Let's look at what Hood is doing. What is Spot doing? Spot. I did not have Spot in my watch list, to be honest. So what is Spot doing? Yeah, it was gapped down on the earnings, but now it's stepping up. So nothing really. No crazy volume. Nvidia was very choppy at the open. I don't know what is it doing. Oh, it's still like these are the moves that you have to be very patient. Moves up, pulls back completely, then moves up, then pulls back completely, then moves up. It's eventually stepping up, but when you're trying to go long or manage a position, right? You're going long and then you're waiting for the VWAP to pull back. So you're not trade if you're trading a range like this is the range or this is the range right here and here. If you're trying to go long here, then you can play around with these ranges. But usually when you're trying to take a trade, you'll trade at a higher price. But when this pullbacks or rather the retracement is higher than the 50%, I don't like those retracements. But it still like breaks out. Now it's throwing up and then it's still holding at a higher price. So it's still trending. Like overall, if I look at the bigger picture, it is still trending on the upside. But was it a good stock to trade? I don't think so because I don't like these deeper like moves to the upside. Like they pull back, trap a lot of people, and then breaks out. I want to have like a clear move. But now everything is popping up on this thing. Nvidia, the PLTR was also interesting. So PLTR sold off. The first move, the first thing that I would be thinking of, it was actually at this thing. This was at a pullback too, but this was sold aggressively. So I was very much interested to see if this was close to the VWAP, and then this was the area I would be interested in to short, scaled out, but I would be looking for low of the day, like the low of the pre-market. Like Apple did the low of the pre-market. If you look at Apple, uh, Apple did the low of the pre-market. If you look at this, it did a pullback, very aggressive, and then shorted at this thing, then came back and retested the pre-market. And that tells you that, PLTR has that relative strength overall. And then it showcased relative strength. And that's why it's more of a long. It did try to sell and then started stepping up, and it's starting to trend now. It just continues to trend. It just rallies. This was the range, and then break out from that, and then pull back, step up higher, step up higher, step up higher, and then continues to go to 115 now. Wow. So yeah, that was PLTR was good overall. Then I had Tesla. So what is Tesla? Tesla was weak in the pre-market. And of course, everything was weak in the pre-market because of the bigger economical news on the market or the economy shrinking. So that was weak, but now things are trying to the sell-off was real. So this was a very good sell-off. Uh, I was watching it in the pre-market. I was thinking, man, this could be an amazing, amazing short because the sellers were so dominant. Like here, I was like thinking this seller was so dominant right here, but I was thinking that it would trap a lot of sellers and trap a lot of buyers and then squeeze to the downside. It did not. And that's where you know that it's usually aggressive. So sometimes you get those opportunity to short, but my bias was always short. Like my bias was either short here or maybe goes to 281 and 282 was my area to short. But it never gave me that opportunity. And then it rejected to 271. Yeah, that would have been a 10-point move overall. So yeah, sometimes the stock give you that opportunity, sometimes it doesn't. You have to wait for the right price to manage your risk and uh, and even though the stock would have come to my area, I wouldn't have shorted blindly. I'm interested in that area, like 280 and 281 and 282. It doesn't mean that I'll just blindly short it. I want to see some projection. I want to see some weakness. I want to see some, you know, some checks in my favor for me to short it. And at the open, it just the first thing was a sell. So I was like, okay, not my thing. I was now the second opportunity that I was thinking of getting in was here. Like when it tried to come back up and rejected, this was the opportunity to get back in again. Like this is when you miss the upper level, but now you're looking for a stock to prove its own point, which is a sell, and usually you look for a pullback, and then you're looking for a continuation of the sell signal. I didn't trade it because exactly at this point, I was in a little difficult situation on Apple because I shorted here and then it very quickly squeezed to the upside. And this was the first, second, third, and fourth, fifth minute. And Tesla was doing same thing in first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Yeah, same around the same time. So I was watching Apple more carefully because I was heavy size on that. So level up with Saurabh, for me, it took me 3.5 years. to be consistently profitable. Yeah, it changes with the time. So Prasanna, Elizabeth, Sofa, and PLT are doing great. Wish I could be one and done. Taylor, do you think spot is long here? I think we talked about spot. So, what is your average yearly ROI? Average yearly ROI, close to 150%, 150 to 200%. But again, it's like depends on the account size. Uh, Francis Xavier, yeah, just be patient and have realistic expectation. People whom you'll mostly listen to, either they're prop firm traders or people who are trading full time, are able to dedicate full time. Most of the traders, when they start, they are either have a full time job or they have certain engagements, they have family and all of that. And so you have to find time for it, and you have to find time for trading, and you have to find time for studying. So uh, a prop firm trader who is out of his college and who is an intern, or who is actually he or she is able to dedicate like 8 to 10 hours or 15 hours a day on trading, and their learning curve is going to be very short because of the time that they're able to spend. But people who have a full-time job, I had a full-time job when I started, and uh, and I wasn't able to dedicate that much of a time. Mostly, weekends were the times where I would give like a lot of time for studying, and on a daily basis, maybe I'll trade and review my trades, because journaling also takes a lot of time. So that timing, it was always a challenge to find out, because work was demanding, the personal stuff was demanding, and I think all you have to do is just find time and have a realistic expectation. Look in the number of hours you are able to spend than the amount of time you think. Because for some people in the prop trading firm, it's usually like 6 months to an year, because they're able to dedicate completely, and every single day they're able in front of the screen, uh, from 9 to 5 or even 8 to 5, and and they're watching the screen. I wasn't able to do that. Neither I want to do that either. I was only dedicating 1 and 1.5 hours in trading, uh, because you have to take care of the full-time job too. So yeah. So have some realistic expectations. Yeah, very good point, Peter. Very good point. Yearly ROI is very misleading because, yeah, uh, very, very important point. PLTR to 120. So it is at what is it at? 115 right now. Everything is rallying right now. A great, great reversal. Who would have thought? The market is shrinking and they want to buy. Apple is looking to go for the BDC. Tesla is doing something very similar. Tesla hasn't broken the high of the day yet, but has stepped up really nice. Yeah, this I find it very difficult to go long here. If I go long, I'll go long maybe here at this area for a VWAP, and that's it. Like maybe here, max right here. But thinking that it would do a complete reversal, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like if it was supposed to buy, why would you sell all of it here? Like means it's like once the character of a stock is changed, I do not want it to complete reverse without the catalyst behind it. And stock market does that all the time, day in, day out. So, and that's my weakness. I just cannot wrap my head around once the things have sold off, I would want to see a pullback and then sell off again. Like, this is what would make sense to me because people would think it's a good buying opportunity. It pulls back to an area, and then the sellers start taking over because the character of a stock has changed. But this move doesn't make sense to me. And you'll not see me trade these moves. The people who, yeah, I cannot wrap my head around it. Why does that happen? Uh, uh, So, Imtiaz Khan, how long it takes to start with live trading for a person like me who has a full-time? So, Imtiaz Khan depends on how comfortable you are. Uh, I would highly, highly recommend to get into live trading as early as possible. It is a 3 months time for a lot of people, like be in a simulator and all of that. I personally want two prerequisites. One is have at least one or two setup that you think makes sense to you, right? That is like having a playbook. That is number one thing. Second is knowing how the tool works. Be acquainted with the hotkeys, be acquainted with if you can do these two things in a matter of 15 days, 20 days, 1 month, you are ready for the live trading. But when you get into live trading, don't risk like $1,000, $500, $100, depending on what you're thinking. Start very small. Start with $1 or start doing like $5 a day. Like that should be start with like that small of a size. Because in simulator, the idea of simulator or idea of being in the sim is that you get acquainted with the the hotkeys, the tools, the things, and practice different playbook setups or practice different playbooks that are uh, that you have built. Able to find those charts, able to find those patterns, but you have to do a prereq. Like usually, simulator is also used because people are very new to trading. So they use simulator to understand the charts, to read the charts, to read the price action, to read this. Then, if that's the case, it would take 2 to 3 months to get a hang of it, of how to create a playbook and how to create. But if you have these two prerequisites, go live. Start with $1 or $5 a day. The psychological piece will kick in. If you are very small, and if you're new, the psychological piece is that you want to overcome. I still remember my first day in trading, and my first stock that I traded was Momo and MOMO. And I went long with like 10 shares or something, and it moved like popped up a 2 cent or something on my thing, and I got out. Like I was so hesitant to be live. Like that's the learning curve, and looking at looking at the phase of the past 10 years of trading, now I can like go tens and thousands of shares and don't even care about how much it's moving. And that's the journey you have to pass through, because the psychological aspect comes in when you're trading live. So, and it's a experienced journey. You start scaling in as and when you are able to prove yourself that I deserve to bump up on my size. If you can make $5 a day for 2 to 3 weeks, bump your size to $10 a day, or maybe $7 a day, or $10 a day, and then so what you're doing is if you're able to consistently perform, you are deserving to a bump on your size. And don't bump your size from $5 to $50. Bump your size uh, in a percentage terms. It could be, when you're starting with, it could be 50% bump, but as and when you get bigger, the percentage of the bump should go decreasing. Like if I'm trading 1,000 shares, I would want to bump up my size to 10% or 15% than 50 or 60%. Like that's where you are able to adapt to the psychology piece of it. Yeah, Ravi man, I think that's how everybody starts. I think I remember Andrew taking like 100 shares, 200 shares when I was looking at him. Like when I found him, I'm sure he was trading before that too. So, and now if he's taking like tens and thousands of shares, that's the journey he has gone through. So everybody has to start. People who start with big size, they are tend to very high chance for them to blow up. Francis, nothing is wrong method. Every single thing works. Every single thing works. Every single thing in the market is so uncertain that everything works in your favor. So trade what makes sense to you and refine your playbook. If you use EMAs and Bollinger Bands, there's no wrong method. If you're using it, try to prove yourself that that is working for you. If you just trade based on EMAs and Bollinger Bands, uh, isn't the Bollinger Band also a part of the EMA? Yeah, Bollinger Band is made through EMAs, right? So anyways, whatever you are doing, create your uh, playbook and refine it to make it profitable or make it high win rate. And then you are able to then judge yourself that how much of a risk reward are you getting on those setups. If you're getting like, if your win rate is 50% and you're making at least 1:2, you're gonna be profitable. If you're making win rate is like 40% and your risk reward is 1:4 or 5 you'll be very profitable. So it's all about win rate and the risk reward. If your win rate is 90% and if it's still 1:1 you'll still be very profitable. So it's all about two things, win rate and the risk reward that you're getting on that setup. So Ravi man, most market is mostly random. Our job is to find pockets of, yeah, yeah, yeah. Nick Day, what type of orders are you using to get in and then partial your trades? It's mostly, or 100% of my trades are marketable limit orders. So what I'm doing is I'm hitting the market to get me filled because I'm basically trading the momentum, and I'm trying to get in and get out. I'm like basically hitting the ask or the hitting the bids, but I'm also restricting my fills to be not beyond 5 cents of my when I hit it, like so that I can avoid the slippage. So if I'm hitting the ask and then by the time I'm hitting the ask and it moves up the 5 cent more than 5 cents, it won't fill me. It would only I only allow the slippage of 5 cents. So it's not a blind way of just filling me whatever the price it is. I get restricted to 5 cents, up or down, depending on what I'm shorting and what I'm uh, longing, and that's why I use marketable limit orders. Man, market is strong again. It goes to 550. Yeah, I like how I managed my Apple position. Very nice short, pull back, perfect entry on the ad side, dropped a little bit. I was thinking it would hold and then eventually trap a lot of people. It moves up above 208 and then sell off hard if the market is down. But it never happened. And you still have to manage your risk on that. Yes, they are a part of the Elliott, and Jared is one of those guys who talks about the Elliott wave and market cycles and sector rotations overall. Uh, who uh, I went to this one of the conferences somewhere, and people I don't know who know Brett Steenbarger, and I asked a question to him about how do you identify the sector rotations, and uh, and it was surprising to me that his response was that there were no sector rotations. So one book, I think if you're a starter, if you're a like if you there are a lot of books to be honest. One book won't give you a lot of information, but the most basic ones not the basic one I would say, but three books I would think you would understand the market structure and price action. One is How to Day Trade for Living if you are looking for being a day trader. Uh, this is specifically for day trading. I'm not talking about investment or if it's specific for day trading. Andrew Aziz, How to Day Trade for Living, Mike Bellafiore's the book called The Playbook, and uh, Anna Cooling's Volume Price Analysis. These three are the ones that I would highly, highly recommend. So Trading in the Zone is more of a psychological book. If you are a starter, if you are a beginner, I would highly recommend focus on the technicals more than the psychology. People do the other way around. People, they don't have a playbook, they don't have a setup, and they lose money, and they think that I was over trading, I have some psychological issues. It's the other way around, guys. The more technical you get, the less emotional you are. Yeah, Trade in the Zone, the best loser wins, 101 ways of by Brett Steenbarger. What is that? 101 something. A trading psychology. Um, yeah, you can read as much as I was looking at my bookshelf if I'm missing something. I think Apple is a good shot, but I think but I think it has a chance to go to PDC too. So it's Yeah, mad props, I think, yeah, understanding the root cause is really important, guys. Like, I cannot emphasize enough that a lot of psychological issues can be overcome by being technical. Uh, if you are going through overtrading, have a technical rule of no more than 8 trades per day or 9, 10 trades per day, whatever your number is. You are able to overcome that overtrading. If you are very, if you are very, what do you call, you get into revenge trading, or if you try to save yourself from a deeper hole in terms of emotional trading, try to have a max loss. The more technical you get, the uh, uh, if you are taking a lot of non-setup trades, have a rule of taking, if you take any 3 non-setup trades, you're done for the day. And the more technical you get, you will have emotions. You will break those rules, you will do everything, but um, every emotional issue that you will go through can be um, overcome through technical actions. The one rule that you would need to overcome emotionally is where you are sizing into the position, or when you are trying to increase your size. That issue, that is something which is psychological, because once you're bumping your size from, like, let us say 1,000 shares to 1,300 shares or 1,500 shares, are you able to hold that size and stick to your stop losses or stick to your risk management things? That's what is usually becomes challenging in terms of emotional or psychological. And that's where you have to find a sweet spot, that if maybe like from jumping from 1,000 to 1,500 was not a good idea, maybe jump from 1,000 to 1,100, so that it does not impact you psychologically. It is too small of a number for you to get impacted psychologically. And that number keeps, if you keep, and that even that small 100 shares, an extra 100 shares, which does not impact you psychologically, but it would add to your PNL by a lot. So think on those lines, but always try to come up with a technical solution of a psychological issue. Yeah, same thing, AJ. Like, if you take 3 trades on a trade, and if it's not work on, you have to get away from the ticker. Like, have a rule or something like that. Whatever you're struggling with, whatever your psychological issues are. And Legend, what would you say was the moment that you had a aha realization that made you more profitable? So Legend growing, one of the things that, you know, I had a deal breaker with. Like, I loved stock market. I was very passionate about stock market and everything. And um, with the social norm that was around me, uh, it was considered as a gambling kind of a thing. But I was very much interested in this. Like, I don't know, but I was very passionate about stock market. But so one thing I went into, when I was exploring and everything, one thing that was a deal breaker for me, that it should not be gambling. If I'm not able to tell with uh like a higher probability or certainty, if I'm not able to see it, I would not want to be a part of trading. And I kept looking for ways to be able to try to get more. Like, initially when I started, that I figured that it was a kind of a risk management. You're looking at a setup, you're looking for this. But the more and more I explored, I was exposed to the tape, which was, I think, I wouldn't say aha moment in terms of P&L because it took me some time uh, to get a hang of what tape is and how to read the tape and how to see where the imbalance is. But the aha moment was the fact that I could see what was happening. So if I can see, I can interpret the data, I can take more informed decision. And that is not gambling to me. That is a basic analysis, and that is a skill that you have to um, incorporate in your, just like engineering, just like being in a medical, everything needs to, make sense. And it made sense to me. And that was when I was exposed to the tape, I was like, hell yeah, this is what I was looking for. So yeah. And then it was all about, practice and analyzing and all of that screen time that just increased my P&L curve exponentially. Uh, I am gonna write a book for sure, not anytime soon, but I will write it, but it was 100% gonna be technical in nature, not psychological. Rate tricks, I don't even know what these are. ICT concepts. What is ICT? What is FVGs? Liquidity levels, you can look around where the liquidity is, but I don't know what the OBs and these are. So refine your playbook, Taylor. One green day, one red day. I think if you are able to be break even after 1 year, that's a good progress. Usually people lose a lot of money in the first year. So if you're able to um, be break even, that's a good job, Taylor. But keep refining your playbook and keep uh, trying to question yourself on your playbook that the which thing makes more sense to me. Like in terms of technical indicators you're using, which is more valuable. So for me, for two things are the most valuable: price action and tape. That's it. The moving averages, the things that you see on the chart, everything is just the secondary. But the more and more you stick behind what the price action that tape is for me, like I would want to use that. Level up, I guess volume price analysis by Anna Cooling. So AJ, that is a good question. Do you trade based on a profit goal or focus only on doing the right calls? I usually focus on doing the right calls. I do have a profit target in mind, uh, but I usually um, trade based on what is the right thing to do. Tiger pre-order the book now. Is tape really helping if your strategy is not only small and quick moves, but oh yeah, of course. Soft bar tape is gonna help you time your entries and would increase your risk reward exponentially. Exponentially. So maybe so Ratrix, I'm very uneducated in that front, so I have no idea what these are. So Ratrix, check out check out the course that I have on Trading Terminal. And you should be able to, like, the first section that you see, I provide an introduction on tape. So I check that out. It's free to review. I can even show you if that's something. So if you go to Trading Terminal and you go to the Academy, under the Academy, you go to Enter Academy right here. And then there is the Day Trading Essentials there. Specialized trading courses. You can look at the Reading the Tape Mastery. They need change the name. Okay, so yeah, this is the one that you want to look at. Really? Okay, this is an Academy Premium, so yes. So yeah, check this out. And in the overview, which is like, this is the overview and introduction, this is free to access. So feel free to check this out and you'll get a basic idea what tape is. What do you mean are pending orders? So there are two things in the tape. One is the level 2 that you see on this box right here. This box is level 2. These are the pending orders. This basically tells you what the pending orders are. But the tape, the time and sales, these are the executed live orders which are passing through. So the tape includes both time and sales and level 2 data. So level 2, yes, but not for time and sales. You can always put an order in and cancel it, which is level 2, but the price, the tape, the time and sales data, that doesn't lie. Those are real orders passing through. Yeah, I'll be right back, guys. I just will quickly needs to use the restroom. Okay, back. Uh, so it's not just the speed. There's a lot of information that the order flow tells you. So Matthew KTM, I would not be able to explain it to you without you understanding the concepts. I would say it's looking weak or it's looking strong because there are a lot of concepts that you have to apply. And for them to apply, you need to understand what those concepts are. But every red color that is passing through right now, or the white color or green color, the orange and the blues, whatever that's passing through right now, they have a meaning associated to it. And with with the price that it's trading, the value, the quantity that it's seeing right now, it has a meaning behind it. So once you understand the meaning and concepts behind it, that's where and when you combine them, that's where you're able to identify or if it's weak or strong at that point of time. Uh, PLTR goes to, yeah, PLTR to the PDC, man. Apple is also, I think, see Apple, how it is trending overall. Like this was a perfect place for it to trend. Like if you see, you can tell, you can connect two lines right here, and down all you can do is write the trend. You see this trend stepping up, then comes back to this, and it just kept trending. It could trend all day. Same with, I think, PLTR. Yeah, PLTR is like this. Same thing with PLTR overall. Once it breaks out right here, and then it keeps trending. Very nice. Very nice price action. I did not go long today, Ray Metrics. I shorted, what do you call, Apple. Can you explain the full form of ICT, please? What? I don't know. I don't even know what ICT is. So I only use time and sales and level 2 and time and sales tape. I have tried using Bookmap, and I think it's a good pictorial presentation of the level 2 area, but you still want to stick to the basic on what is happening at that point, which is time and sales. Time and sales is there's no alternative to watching time and sales with Bookmap. Time and sales, it's yeah, I think Retrix, I think whatever works for you. To be honest, like every single YouTuber or whatever you're gonna name it, you can name whatever. Like in BBT, you'll hear like the Rising Devil Trade and the Fallen Angel and everything. These are like individual names. Uh, End of the day, trading, the most basic form of trading is supply and demand. That's it. You can make it more complicated. It is, or you can have all different structures, things, but if you stick to the basics, that's what it comes down to. It's just the price and volume. Those are the leading. Everything is derived from it. Everything, the market structure, the everything. So yeah, if that works for you, ICTs or whatever, uh, you know, I'll try to research more about this ICT stuff because I want to know what that is. But uh, it would be a good info to understand. Okay, my battery's dying, so let's wrap it up. Yeah, the Ratrix, that's exactly what we do as well. Price action, inefficiencies, imbalances, order blocks, fair value gaps, fib levels, liquidity zones, everything is a part of our trading as well. You're just naming it differently. So yeah, okay guys, have a great rest of the day. See you guys tomorrow. Take care, guys.